Hello and welcome to our fortnightly live stream here on YouTube, and we thank you very much for giving up maybe a couple of hours of your evening to join us. And we've got some special guests, so we like doing our double special guests, and we'll get to those in a minute. But first of all, it's Can We Catch Gordon Out time, as we thank the people that help support this live stream. We'd like to thank the great people at Luden Palazzoli, the ones at Wago, the ones at Marshall Tufflex, and the ones at BG Lasico. But there's always someone I forget.
Doncaster Cables.
Doncaster Cables. Thank you very much for reminding us. And thank you to those great people for allowing us to come fortnightly to you. So that's the sponsorship plug over and done with. So let's think about who we've got in front of us here with us today. Gordon, who have we got here?
Well, we've got some special guests. We've got a tame electrician who's been convinced to come along. We've got Neil Dutton here from HLD Electrical.
That's right, yeah.
Based in?
Wigan.
Wigan. There we go. That's
West Lancs.
West, other side of the border, as we like to call it, in Yorkshire.
And we've also got, I thought we were going to do both. I was looking at the monitors. I apologise, Gordon, I'm back in. And we've got Simon from Express Electrical, the owner, CEO, managing director, I suppose you're the Elon Musk of that world, the wholesaling environment that you're from. He wasn't expecting that one being thrown out. And thank you for coming along for us today.
No, thank you very much for inviting me. I'm sure we'll have a good evening together. It's been a very interesting day, and I can't wait for what's coming.
Okay, when he says interesting day, obviously, we've had a triple header today because we've also got a special camera that goes on to Callum Cam. So let's bring in Callum Cam up the top there. Give us a wave, Callum. So in every great business, there is the leading light of that business, the Elon Musk of the business, I would suggest, Simon, and there's also the offspring of that business. And we experienced some of those offspring moments today when we were down at Mastows, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. It was, Callum totaled the table in a restaurant and put his starter all over the floor.
Yeah, and several drinks, I think, I would suggest. So that was a great moment there. We will be coming back to Callum in a few minutes because he's also got the key word for us today as well, hasn't he, Gordon? Right, okay, so today's themes then for this live stream are, we're going to be looking at some new build properties. You might have seen that in the thumbnail, so we're going to go and delve into that world. We're also going to delve into the world of the wholesale, and we know lots of those YouTubers out there have been doing things, say spot buying at different wholesalers across the UK to try and come up with the best price. Unfortunately, we'd already booked our guests many weeks in advance, so it nicely coincides with their themes as well, and we can put that wholesaler to the test. And we bought, he's not your best customer though, because he's mentioned another wholesaler most of the time he's been here, Simon, isn't he?
He's very, very fickle, like many contractors, unfortunately. If someone's a penny cheaper, they're off.
And we'll be covering that as we go on our way through. So, Gary's Swap Shop, that's what we're going to start with. Let's bring the logo in.
I've also said we're not going to mention EV chargers at all.
Oh, are you sure?
Simon's going to get really angry if we mention EV chargers.
Okay, so we will be mentioning EV chargers. You can read into that.
We'll try not to, but I'm sure we do.
Okay, Gary's Swap Shop. Okay, if you want to play along, you might already know what the keyword is. We'll bring the keyword in a minute. This is not necessarily a prize that you'll win this evening because it requires you to put some effort in, and we know when the effort's left to the electrician that it can come unstuck. But if you do want to play, I'll give you the keyword in a minute, and if you are the winner at the end, and there'll be two people pulled out just before we go into the plug and socket, you need to send me something first. And Gordon's come up with what we're going to be sending this week.
Yeah, I think we're going to send in an electrical magazine.
Okay, so magazines, that's still a thing, Gordon?
Well, I've got one here from a well-known wholesaler, Gary, that turned up with an order this week. So
oh, right, okay.
It's called a deals paper. I don't know if they're good deals, but you could send this one. Other wholesalers are available, and you can get, I think there's a one called Electrician Professional or Times Electrical. I think the NIC do one called Connected or Connect or something like that. That seems to have an article very similar to what video I've made in.
That won't be the first time that's happened either. It was pretty similar to one that we did when we looked into meter boxes. You may want to circle back into that one when we get into the plug and socket. So in order to play along for Gary's Swap Shop, you now know you're going to have to send me something if you're one of the two people pulled out at the end. And it's going to be one of those magazines you find on the trade counter. And in order to play, we need a keyword. So we'll go back to the Turkish ivory, which is the face of Callum. Let's bring Callum in. And this boy has got some beautiful teeth. He might have had to travel to get them, but here's his teeth.
For Gary's Swap Shop, today's keyword is Express Electrical. All right, you're still rolling, Gary.
Don't you just love a younger person when you can get them in front of the camera? Yes, we got the full hands, and yes, you're still running the camera, Gary. So there's the keyword. It's nice and easy. What is the keyword? Just remind me again, Simon.
Express Electrical.
Okay, Express Electrical. Your local wholesaler in which area of the world?
Anywhere you want.
I'll bet you... Oh, hang on. I'll go there before we get anywhere. If I was in Malta, what are the chances of me walking into an Express Electrical wholesaler?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Well, you still get supplied. We supply Ghana, so we do supply over the world. So yeah, if you want it, we supply it.
Which part of the world was
You mean
it?
Gibraltar?
Gibraltar. We'll edit that one out, folks. We'll edit that one out first. That's the start. Isn't it? That's the start. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do then, we're going to need to send me something in. Okay, you're going to send a magazine in. There's your keyword. Bang it in the comments, and we're off and running on Gary's swap shop. Okay then, Gordon.
What are you going to send out in return, Gary?
Well, we're going to send that in return?
Yeah.
Well, we've got to send something out. Have you helped us with the returning stuff? Let's have a look at what we're going to send out
No,
in
it
return.
just takes returns.
Yeah, I know.
No,
We'll come to returns and electrical wholesalers as well later on. You can have an eddy current hat. I'm going to give you one of those. You can have a selection of Wago connectors as well. So there you go. So I've gone big on the Wagos this time, and that is available on Gary's swap shop. So if you send me off one of your trade magazines you're lucky enough to be pulled out, you can bring me those. So just show us that trade magazine again, Gordon. You seem to like that one. Yeah, okay.
There's not many deals in here.
No many, well, they're all expensive in there, aren't they?
Quite good though, isn't it?
Is it a good one? I thought you were a Yes electrical man.
Express. You don't do a magazine though. It's a bit cheap, bit cheap.
Okay, yeah. So that's what you can win from me. You've got a prize later on, Gordon, haven't you, for the GT
We have,
time?
yes. Oh yeah, we've got a great electricians challenge tonight because it's JB Electrical from Oxford, or brackets Ox, as you see in his Instagram.
And you'll be doing a race, and that is an absolute crack. That one is a crack. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that reminds me, I'm cycling home tonight.
What, have you parked your bike out the front?
Yeah.
Put them in the railings?
Yeah, put it in the rail and stall it up right. But,
Okay, so
yeah.
it's worth staying on for. That is a superb race wall as well. I think we've left it long enough, Gordon, now that we could perhaps do the register.
Oh, right,
so we'd
let's
like to
use
delve
on.
in to see
Right.
if any of our regulars are on.
Okay, from the top, Arcadia 1701E, East Power Engineering, who's asking what time we're going live. We're live now. Carl Robinson, Richard Brook at Sockets, Billy Torrey all the way up there in Scotland, Gavin Geeney, who I believe is out in Ireland, Aaron, so is it above Aaron, Sean the Spark, Jonathan Rose, Big Ash Electrics,
Yay.
Mark Allenson, A Spark 1, Bry Tube, that's a new one. So, done that. Gifford's Electrical, hashtag Secret Millionaire, Tony Martin from Wiha. So
Wiha.
Power Electrical. Tony's retired now. Ex-Wiha, we should say, but
we see him at every trade show and he's always working.
Can't give it up. D-Smell, That Tool Guy, or AKA's Torchy, he's known in the past. Mark Russell, MB Electrical, Sparky 400T, Terry Moore, Sean Dempsey, as ever, Paul Tipton, Sean the Spark, I think we've done that. I think we're getting round again. Richard Cockerline, who else? Okay. Mr. Sales, Heath, Brian Hewitt, the UK Spark, who was the, will he be the winner or the loser in the challenge that's coming up tonight against JB Electrical? Omar Iltaf, JB Electrical Oxford, yeah, there we go. Richard Cockerline, I think we're done there. Let's check. Kevin Osborne, keep sailing down. Lisa M, won last time on there. Alan Chan, Mark Russell, X-Forces Electrician, Daniel Brown, Wiha UK, that must be someone else from Wiha, PD, KH, Carl Robson, Chris B, I think Daddy B, Early Years Learners Fun, otherwise known as Mrs. Hayes,
She's on.
Chris Henry, Richard Gaunt, who's up there, Jesse O'Connell, so there we go. I think we've done Kazwa, that's good one, we'll stick with that one. Rob Skilling, there we go. I think that's everyone. If I've missed you,
we'll try and get you back in the plug and socket when we go back
will
into
do.
it. But yeah, so thank you very much for joining us. If you're definitely lots of regular names popping up in there, so thank you for joining us again. Now we've got a little bit of an apology and a little bit of a call out as well to our good friend Ian Clark, who's not very well at the minute, is he, Ian?
No, he's not. No. So you plan to do the first College Connection live stream on the Monday. Unfortunately, we had to postpone that because
Ian's not very well at all. So I'll just bring a picture in of Ian. This is the picture that we used when Ian won College Lecturer of the Year. And it gave me and Joe great pride in obviously announcing him that winner of that award. So that was fantastic. However, he's a bit poorly at the minute, and I had asked him to be the first co-presenter for me on the eFIXX College Connections Live, which is going to go out every month. Apart from when the colleges are out, he's going to go out every month. So obviously, Ian not coming, we decided to postpone it because he didn't come. We could have gone still and done it, Gordon, but we decided out of that we didn't need to do it on that one. So we've moved it I think we're now at the 27th of June, the first one's going to be.
Yeah, that's
so we've
rescheduled,
rescheduled it for that. So anyone who was looking to tune in on that, me and Ian, obviously a little bit disappointed we couldn't do it, but you know, obviously our love and prayers go out to Ian, who's not very well at the moment. And with that in mind, it links to another segment that would have been in there and will be in the later ones as well. This is me and JB, who's going to be doing that Electricians Challenge. He's done me 6 little vignettes that he's going to do during those live streams where we cut to James over in Oxford at the training centre for JTL. JTL allowed us to go into their training centre, and he's done 6 little mini videos to help you on your apprenticeship. So hopefully that's whetted your appetite for the 27th of June, and you'll come along and join us on that live stream. But you know, get well soon, I would suggest, for Ian Clark on that one. Shall we have a breather ourselves now? We've done about 8 minutes there, I think. We're already flying through. Shall we bring our good friend in?
We can be. Head over to Regulation Corner, where I think John's looking at external influences.
Is he?
Yeah.
External. We saw some external influences on JB's job, didn't we? Oh, external being the word.
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Regulation Corner. Take a seat, get comfortable, maybe pour yourself a drink. So this week I've been pondering that age-old question of nature versus nurture. How much of an individual's personality is inherent in their psychological makeup from birth, and how much of it is developed due to the environment that they're brought up in. And this question that has been plaguing philosophers from time immemorial got me to thinking about SCARMI and the products that they make, and the impact of the environment on our electrical installations. After all, there's a whole appendix in BS 7671 devoted to the subject of external influences, and yet it's something that's so often ignored. For example, SCARMI provided electrical equipment for a Campari factory, hence the reason that I'm enjoying a no-grony this evening. And they opted to install their advanced GRP interlocked switch socket outlet and relevant Optima EX plugs due to the presence of highly flammable gases and dusts used in the brewing and fermentation processes. While this was being installed in another country, they surely embodied the spirit, if you'll pardon the pun, of Regulation 132.5.1 in that all-important but often overlooked Chapter 13 of BS 7671 on fundamental principles. And it reads, "The design of the electrical installation shall take into account the environmental conditions to which it will be subjected," and then continues in 132.5.2. "Equipment in surroundings susceptible to risk of fire or explosion shall be so constructed or protected, and such other special precautions shall be taken as to prevent danger." So here we have at least one answer to the question of nature versus nurture. We see that the environment of a building is absolutely critical to the development of an electrical installation and will contribute enormously to the way the final product turns out, leading us to wonder, as we often do here at Regulation Corner, if the authors of BS 7671 are hinting at a deeper meaning and providing us with a parallel to our own lives to consider. Because surely our personalities are moulded and developed by the conditions we find ourselves in, but we are still the masters of our vessels, the captains of our ships. And so we always have a choice as to the person we want to be. So in the same way, we'd always choose wisely the manufacturers of products for our electrical installations, so too we make sure that we choose wisely those elements of our personalities we want to accentuate and keep fighting against those we wish to leave behind us. But here I go again, the fake drink's gone to my head, and I'm overthinking it as always. I won't keep you any longer. Thanks for stopping by, and the next time you're passing, drop in, say hello. You know there's always a place for you here at Regulation Corner. Good night.
Wow, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
We do love a bit of Regulation Corner.
deep there with Joe, deep today.
He takes it to another level. Okay, so talking of taking things to another level, this is one of my favourite segments of the show, because we're going to do a sneak peek, but it's actually a tool, so that means I've got to coax it down from above. And I'd like you to help me at home, so please try hard with me, because only with the team effort will we be able to get these tools down from above? So we're looking for the tool from above. Now I know exactly what you thought there. Let's bring him in. Let's bring him in. I know what you thought when I said tool from above. You thought Callum. Okay, we're not going to ask Callum to come down the stairs and join us here in the live stream. We're going to leave that tool from above up there. Okay, so we're going to come with the tool from above, which is over there, which needs. I've got to move seat in order that I can coax it down. So here we go. Can I get this one to come down? Here we go. You're not trying hard enough for me at home, are you now? Come on.
There's Gary. There's plenty of tools coming in.
Oh, we're getting closer. Come on, one more. That'll do. I can get it from there. Thank you very much. So let's have a little look in the bag. Ooh, got a little bit of Wiha.
We have.
Okay.
Two. Now, we teased this out. We saw this at the Electricians.
There's loads of them in the country at the minute, isn't there?
There's only these. I think there's three.
There's three. Yeah, we got told today when we said, can we have one? Let's have a closer look. And this is we've got double sneak peek, haven't we? So let's bring this one in. So this is the first sneak peek.
So this is the VDE approved version, or the insulated one.
Okay.
So look at that magnetic action here.
Yeah, I love it.
You can just do that all day. Yeah. Take that. Now this
Not
is
at your age.
this is the screwdriver for the travelling electrician. We all know what it's like. You go on holiday somewhere, you go in that apartment block and you want to have a cheeky look behind the socket or the consumer unit supplying the apartment. You can just take this out of your bag and there you go. You've got 4 different size bits to be able to get in any continental socket or consumer unit.
I'll just say, have you been on many flights recently with concealed items inside the shaft of something and trying to get through any airport security, Gordon?
Not in the hand baggage carrier.
No, okay, all right.
A bit more discreet than that these days. But yeah, so great. I mean, great for.
Are they the slim Vario bits as
They
well?
are the slim Vario bits. We're getting the torque screwdrivers. Yeah, so you've got a small one for slotted terminals. You've got a PZ2.
So right, am I right in thinking that obviously it comes with the 4, but if I've got the pouch, which I've got several pouches from Wiha, I could just rotate them in accordingly?
Drop in your favourite selection, Gary.
Oh, I like it. I do like that. That's very nice. And you've got another one next to it.
Yeah,
so
well,
you're
I'll put this
reassembling
back
your
together.
James Bond style screwdriver set. Getting the right end.
way.
Yeah, there's a good boy.
And then, in a very similar
You said,
format.
and then M. I thought you said, then I thought you were doing a Bond joke.
Yeah, for the mechanical engineer out there. So this takes your standard bits at the end. Look at this.
Oh, a bit more.
Yeah, 8 bits.
Oh, doubled through. Like that. Can you put one in? Just pop one in for me? Yeah. You haven't heard that for a while, have you?
Hold on.
Just
I'll
pop
build
one in.
Easy one to get out. Hold on. I'm trying.
dear.
There we go. Torques. Little Torques bit.
Fantastic. Okay, that's really good. I like that.
So Ian said good for people with bikes.
Correct.
That was your recommendation.
Yeah.
What sort of bikes is that then?
KTM,
Oh, so we're talking about ones that are powered, not pedalled.
for sure, yeah.
Okay, right. Okay.
Engine.
Engine bikes.
Lazy man.
Yeah.
Lazy man. Right. Okay. So I'm watching this. I'm watching the live stream. I've fallen in love maybe with the 3 in the UK. That's a worrying sign. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've fallen in love with me Wiha, me pocket screwdriver. Yeah.
Pocketmax.
Yeah. I've fallen in love with it.
Yeah.
How can I get hold of one?
There is. You can pre-order because no one has got them in the country yet. You can pre-order them from Express Electrical.
Oh, so is there a link in the
There's
description?
a link in the description.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, but we always like to give a little bit extra, don't we? Because we're eFIXX. So I want to buy one of them. Are they going to chuck anything in, Simon? Are you going to get anything free with it? Oh, you're going to get.
There's a bottle of water.
Let's have a little look.
You get one of these.
Okay, and what is that then, young man?
Well, that's a bottle opener that you're going to need. With every screwdriver, you're going to need one of these.
Okay.
Because when you finish your job, you can just flip the top open and you can have a drink.
Okay, yeah, and that's a Coca-Cola based beverage. I love it. Yeah,
Yes,
fantastic.
only Coca-Cola, of course.
Non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic. Yeah.
Great when you're on holiday. You've finished taking the consumer unit in the apartment to bits, or taking the socket off just to check on how the locals do the wiring. And when you're celebrating, you can. There we go. What an ideal combination.
You've nipped down to their version of their Audi, is that what you're saying? When you're on holiday, yeah? I can envisage you in a pair of flip-flops doing that. Okay, so there's a double banger there for me. So if I would like to pre-order one of those, and there's only 3 in the country, you're going to be one of the first people in the country to get it, according to Wiha today, aren't you?
Well, we are. We did try to order some prior, but unfortunately the Germans and the French always seem to get first dabs on the products.
Yeah.
So we've got a very large order coming in, pre-order. So hopefully in the next 3 or 4 weeks we should have 1,000 of these coming into our stock.
Okay, brilliant. And we haven't mentioned price yet.
Yeah, but you'll also find probably, that's typical, isn't it? Yeah, you go on holiday, Yeah,
Yes,
they're always there first, aren't they?
And they're on the sunbeds,
Yeah.
and they're also getting the
Yeah,
screwdrivers.
they've already been in that consumer unit and the stuff. When you get there.
You've got to get up early in the morning.
There we go.
With a screwdriver.
And moving away from general stereotypes, we'll move on to the price. Okay, so if I'm going to pre-order one and I'm going to get a free bottle opener, Wiha bottle opener, how much are they going to set me back?
I believe they are.
Is it Gibraltar?
It could be
I thought it was
Gibraltar.
$24.99 when we did it earlier. How much are they? How much are they, young man? $29.99. They've gone up already. Inflation.
They've got up £5 already.
You can't believe it. I know inflation's running at nearly 10%, but we've gone from Mastavs to here, and it's gone a fiver. Okay, so $29.90.
Price drop TV.
Yeah, price up TV. So if you want to pre-order one of them, then be fantastic. There'll be a link in the description. As soon as they're in, Express Electrical will send them out to you. They are fantastic as well.
Fantastic
Yeah,
product,
they are.
yeah.
Okay, brilliant.
Well, there, we have another sneak peek behind me as well.
No, you're not going to get the STRUTSLAYR out, are you? People might have spotted that in the back. Are you going to do that live?
Yeah, let's have a go on the STRUTSLAYR.
We should practice this stuff, you know. We should practice this. This is like we're doing it on the hot.
So this turned up today.
Come on in, young man. Let's get up and have a look.
Oh, there we go, powered up.
Are you going to do it sitting down?
Yeah, it's worth
Wow,
a look at that.
look at the
green
laziest
LED on the
electrician
back
you're ever
there.
going to see.
Look at that. It's got Bluetooth. We've got to figure out what the Bluetooth
Bluetooth,
does,
so you can get rewards, isn't
Yeah.
it? Every
Yeah.
time you cut one, you get another emoji or something, do
Yeah.
you?
Are you ready here, Gary?
I'm ready.
So we're going to cut a bit of Unistrut.
Okay.
Other channels are available.
Yeah, Unistrut's only made by one company. We'll
Right,
call it Unistrut. Yeah.
Already.
Yes. Oh. There's something quite satisfying about that. And let's have a look at those edges. Wow, they're super smooth. Wow. Okay. Do you want to do another one? Go on, you do.
Oh.
You do. So you do. So you're sliding. I think you're going in the wrong way. I think you'd slide it in from the other side. But
Well, I'm round here. Okay.
yeah, I know. We didn't get up, did you? Okay, so we're going to chop that a little bit
You
off
ready?
there. Your bit will fall on the floor.
Yeah, so battery powered, 18-volt battery.
Wow.
Didn't work. So these are a fiver, are they?
Rub around with your fingers. Yours are super soft. Okay, yeah, brilliant.
So we've got a full review coming up on that soon, and we've got to build some Unistrut frameworks next week. So we'll be having
That's
go
a
on
little
that
bit more than the $29.99 that our Pocketmaxes are going to be from your Express Electrical, though, isn't it?
Only a
Just
little
work
bit.
that out though. It's £24.99 for the screwdriver,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's a fiver.
And it's free.
It's a free fiver.
It's a free fiver with it. So we're going to do a review on that, and we're going to use it.
Yeah,
build.
so chill
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, I think it comes with a free bottle opener as well.
Does it? It should do for that price. I've got a free case of champagne as well.
Yeah, it's a specialist tool.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't do a lot of channel work, it's probably not for you.
But if you do a lot of channel work, that is the tool from you.
Yeah.
I think is it? It's a little battery in there at the minute. He said 200 cuts, didn't he, with that, and 400 with the slightly bigger one, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it does a huge amount of cuts before you need to recharge it. More than your hacksaw, I would suggest.
And no dust and no sparks. So it gets
So is that's quite important now on site, isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see a change in your insurance policy?
I did, yeah. They've highlighted that hot works include grinders, sparks. So they've taken that off the policy, and we've got to ask to have it put on.
And what does that mean to you as a contracting electrician? Is that going to be a cheaper policy or a more expensive one?
It'll be more expensive.
Okay, so they've taken it out
They've
and they got
taken it
paid to put it back in.
Exactly.
And did they tell you that, or did you notice that when you read your policy?
They didn't tell us. It's when we read the policy, we had a good look through it as to what was in there and what's not in there. Just look at the detail.
Yeah.
And that was something that stood out. Hot works,
Okay.
grinding.
And that's a good piece of advice for people watching this, isn't it? You know, we'll get
Yeah.
those policies, doing like another piece of paper thrown to one side, I'll renew it.
Yeah.
Actually, you're renewing probably for the same or slightly more for less, aren't you?
Yeah, it went up about 10%, but obviously we've got less cover.
Yeah.
So realistically, it's going up a little bit more.
All right, okay, so be aware of that one. So if you do a lot of anything to do with grinding or hot works, yeah, you might need to check your policy as it comes back and gets renewed. Now, we're going to delve into the world of the new build, aren't we, Gordon, which is the thumbnail for this video.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
we'd like your comments on this one. So we're in the process of trying to convince me, I would suggest, and I've suggested I'm going to take the convincing and go for it, that Gary's going to go green now. I'm going to try and move into a world where a more sustainable living, okay, which is fine, I'm all up for that. However, then it becomes a debate, and the wife started the debate off. She said, if we're going to start shoehorning new technology into this house, would we be better off moving to another house, Gordon? So what's the benefits maybe of, I haven't got one, maybe I've got a stone building with a thatch roof and I'm thinking about going green. What would your advice be?
Move house.
Well, so Thank you. I was going to take a mouthful of drink there, Gordon, and I didn't even get to pick it up. No. Move house.
Well, that's sorted that one, eh? What's the next item?
There's a lot of work to bring a leaky house with not much insulation up to modern standards, unless you want to hack it back to the bricks and start again.
So let's go with, so everybody's aware of it, so it's all about fabric first, isn't it?
That's what they always tell us, fabric first. And if you're ever thinking about heat pumps and things like that, it always starts with, if you haven't got good insulation. As with all heating, it just, you're throwing money up the chimney.
Yeah. So my property is 15 years old. It is I'd call it a terraced house. They probably, when they sold it, called
townhouse.
They did. They called it a townhouse. And I went, well, it looks remarkably like a terraced house. My nan used to live in a terraced house. You know, she was in the middle of other ones, which is good.
More, Gary.
Yeah.
It's a townhouse.
Townhouse, it's a townhouse. So some good benefits there, because I'm not on the end, unfortunately. So I get 2 houses either side, keeping mine warm. So that's actually a bonus.
Bargain.
Yeah, but my garage is some distance from the house and hasn't got any electric in it, so I've got to solve that problem. Hopefully that video will come out as well, where we're going to try and get a separate supply into my garage so I can have an EV charger. First big problem.
You've just mentioned it now.
Yeah, what's that?
That's the first mention of EV charger.
Oh, right, sorry. We weren't going to mention EV charge as well. I think I mentioned it. I got away with it. So I got away with it. You didn't notice that, did you? Okay, put it down on the list. So we're going to get one of those things that charge those battery cars on the garage. I think I'll go that one. The other issue I've got is I've got a townhouse. I've got that extra story. So I've got a higher roof. So of course that means a little bit more issue with scaffolding in order to get onto my roof. And then I've got to make a decision about the plumbing, haven't we? We're going to delve into the plumbing as well. So my wife said, this will be one of those things, Gary, where you want to put all this in it and we'd be better off moving. And they're building some lovely, aspirational, I would suggest, aspirational houses, 200 yards, 300 yards from where we live. So we used to be next to a lovely wood. Now we're next to another load of houses.
Lovely.
Okay, yeah, lovely.
Let's have a look at what it looks like, Gary.
Yeah, this is, but it's obviously aspirational, folks. Before I bring it in, okay, let's bring the aspirational house in. Mrs. Hayes would probably love this house. It's the show home. It's there, so it's just that one property, Gordon. 5-bedder, double garage. There we go.
Nice. Okay. First problem. Cover your ears, Simon. Yeah. Can you see the EV charger on there?
See, we can see that.
Yeah. You see it?
Yeah, it's got an. Hang on, no. That solved one of my problems. I said to you, I've got a garage and I've got no electricity in my garage. And my first problem, Michelle said, we've got an EV charger. Problem solved.
Well, now as the building regulations change, people are expecting to see them on houses. Yeah. Where would be the sensible place? Where would be the sensible place to put the EV charger? Looking at the double garage across the way there.
Well, why don't we ask our EV expert, Neil Dutton?
Not where it is. I'd stick it between the garage doors.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I've had a little think now. So if it's there, obviously it's going to be like getting into bed. So whoever comes home with the EV car has got to make sure you get on the right side of the bed, haven't you? So you're, in that case, the right side of the driveway, because obviously the EV charger's there. Okay, that's doable. We can do that. We've managed to sleep the same side for our entire time. But the other problem I've got, didn't I notice the back door there? If I've plugged that in, shall we bring it back in? That back door looks like my lead might well drape across the back door there. Do you agree?
Yeah, and there's no outdoor light as well. So what you do is you come home, park your car, stretch the lead across to the EV charger, and in the shadow you've created from your car that you can no longer see because of the street light, you trip over it.
Right, okay. Yeah, it's not a compelling story at the minute, is it? Okay, nice house though. 5-bed, obviously aspirational. We're not having it. Okay, so but initially that's the first problem solved. And also you'd think with my house being 15 years older, maybe the thermal footprint of that might be a little bit better. I wouldn't suggest it's going to be hugely better, but it should be better. Agreed?
Yeah.
So I've solved the insulation problems. Good.
Yeah.
I've got an EV charger. I'm going to get power into my garage, which is going to cost me a few quid. So I'm 2 up. All right. I'm good.
Yeah, I suspect the builder put it on the house because it's avoids the cost of running the cable to the garage.
Ah, yeah, good thinking. Yeah, and of course then we've got the problem of getting, say, the internet out there maybe, or some sort of communication cable.
Data cable. Yeah.
Didn't think of that. So it's probably not. If there is power in the garage, it's not going to be a lot, is there? Socket and light, do you reckon?
That's it, yeah. Not a big load.
Garage consumer unit.
Yeah.
$15.99, 2 circuits.
Let's give us a quote.
We double that.
Prices will change in the morning, I'm afraid. Okay, so all right. Okay, so my next thing is I'm going to take a little bit of exploring about the electrical intake position. So I live in an area which is Western Power, and I've been told, and I've had photographs sent to me by previous learners, showing me 3-phase supplies going into 2-bed bungalows, 3-phase cutouts, because Western Power have said, and we've come across Western Power, haven't we?
Yeah,
every new installation gets a 3-phase supply. So I'll go over to the meter cabinet, I'll open it up, and I'll look for the surprise, which will be 3-phase. So here we go.
Single phase.
Okay, well, another problem is I can't fit a small consumer unit in there if I want to do anything in the future, because they've obviously filled it up already. So that's how it's going to come to me, Gordon.
So if that's Western Power, I'd say it was either planned before they moved to that thing of 3-phase, or they've got one of these independent DNOs to do the cables around the housing estate.
And my first thoughts, because I'm an old timer, the minute I see white PVC cable, I know what I should be thinking, folks, but I'm thinking B&Q, and I'm thinking, oh, DIY, Derek's had a go. I know it's not a DIY job, but back in my day, and we're going back years now, that white PVC was also bought from those, DIY places. But you quite rightly corrected me on that, Gordon, didn't you?
Well, what type of cable do you think that is, Gary?
I think that is the low smoke zero halogen variety, isn't it?
Of what though? What's the makeup of the cable?
It's XLPE?
No.
No, it's not. It's
What would you call that cable? You're going to order some across the wholesale counter.
no, it's gone from my mind. I can't
Twin and
remember.
Earth.
No, you melt. Absolute.
That was a tough question.
Yeah. Well, let's just revisit that. Yeah.
No, I'm just recovering here. I'm just going to have a little bit of a recovery moment. What is it? What is it? It's low smoke, isn't it?
It is low smoke, yeah, but in a twin and earth format, or as you would call it, twin and CPC.
Yeah, it is
What's
twin
the
and
biggest size twin and CPC?
Well, 16 mil. So
Yeah.
that's a 16 mil. So my brain's going then with the white in my mind for old DIYs. He's thinking that fuse might only be a 60 amp. If I'm lucky, I might get an 80.
Yeah.
So already my new installation's dropped down. But you've had a little think on that, haven't you? And after you've mugged me off there, go on, what you thought?
Yeah. Low smoke fume cable, XLPE, you can
Yeah,
run
it
the
is,
conductors at a
Thank
higher
you,
temperature.
Thank you. Yeah,
So-
you can. That's what I said.
There's a good chance it could be an 80 amp fuse in there, or 100 if it's clipped direct.
It ain't going to be clipped direct though. That's going to be an 80.
Yeah, you can run 80 amps. However, there's one problem with running the conductors at 90 degrees C.
Okay, so well, let's peel into that first. Well, there's a problem. There's no problem with running. So this is what people have, don't they? You touch a cable, you think, oh, that's warm. And, 90 degrees C is warm. They can run up to 90 degrees C, Gordon. So I can run that up to 100 odd amps, depending on how it's installed.
Yeah.
And then I terminate it into my consumer unit.
Yeah.
And I connect into the terminals in there, and then I create a problem. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is, try and find a consumer unit where the terminals are rated for 90 degree conductor temperature.
Yes. It's often missed, isn't it?
Yeah.
We start taking into consideration the cable, but actually the actual electrical enclosure. So we'd like your thoughts on that. When have you come across consumer units where you've clearly seen defined within the manufacturer's instructions when you're looking for those torque settings, good folks, that actually you can go in at 90 degrees C, so they're not, are they? So that's dropped me down again.
Yeah.
I'm probably hovering between 60 and 80, do you agree?
Yeah.
I couldn't take it out.
But
Okay.
you've got an EV charger, so it's going to be 7 kilowatts. Sorry,
We mentioned it again.
Yeah,
Let's
mentioned
put
it
it
again.
yeah,
Oh, no.
Had a nightmare there, didn't he?
I'll have to mark that off again.
That's it. Three of them we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but again, it's another nice little cost saving. So we don't need 25. We've knocked down to 16. Let's have a look back at the picture, Gary. Someone spotted dodgy brickwork as well.
Dodgy brickwork. There's more problems coming. Let's have a look. Dodgy brickwork. Let's have a look. So, what are we saying there? I don't know. I'm not a bricklayer, so it looks okay to me.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm trying to please the wife here, nothing else. So I'm looking in there, and I think this is where you'd say it's ripe for innovation, Gordon. So I've come into a switch and then into a switch. Is that right?
Yeah. So you see, all the time, isn't it? There's just we're supposed to be more ecological. We're putting 2 switches in.
But they're a good distance apart. You know what I mean? So what would you suggest that could be a solution to that?
Yeah, I had this idea the other day. Yeah. Instead of having the double pole switch, why not just put a double pole MCB in instead of the isolating switch?
Okay, so for me then, that'd have to be a conversation with the network operators though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You'd need to get them to change their mindset.
Yeah.
But that's got to be a step forward.
Yeah, if there's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
In Ireland as well, Ireland always have a little circuit breaker in the meter cupboard.
Right, okay.
And
And?
they'll let you connect an EV charge point in there. So.
Does that count? You mentioned it again.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I've mentioned EV again.
Oh, and again.
Oh.
Had a disaster. Okay, so with that aside, okay, I'm not really, well, I am bothered because I'm an electrician, but I'm looking at the property, it's aspirational for the wife, she sees an EV charging point, think it's well insulated, I'm probably not even looking at that at the minute, it's going to cause me a problem potentially down the road,
Yep.
okay, however, when I'm looking at it, the back of that house points exactly the same direction as mine does, which is in a southerly direction. Guess what there isn't on the roof?
No solar?
There is no solar on any of them. Any of those properties have got solar at all.
Yeah.
So I may have solved some of the problems by moving to a newer property. Okay, I might have solved, driveway issues and all the rest of it, but I haven't solved that fundamental problem, is that I can't obviously start producing my own electricity unless I go through the grief of putting it in. That's not good, is it? That's not a move forward, is it?
Well, look, it's always problem. And, new build, do they ever make it easy to upgrade things? So.
Well, I would imagine the consumer unit isn't the other side of that wall, so I'd imagine it's in the central location within the building. So, of course, then my mind drifts to heating. They may have solved the heating problem for me. Do you think they have, Gordon?
No, I think it'd be gas in there.
Yeah, all gas. Yeah, so gas central heating throughout, and it's a selling point of it as well. Yeah, it's gas central heating. Right, okay, are we going to mention the ever word now?
Let's have a look at the, cover your ears, Simon. Let's have a look at the EV charger.
Okay, that's all right. It's all good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is a brand we haven't seen. Have you heard of this brand?
I haven't, no.
No. Has anyone heard of eFIXX? eFIXX?
Oh, I was trying to read that as a word, actually. I wouldn't have read it as that, would you? I was like thinking, that could be from
New one on me,
Gibraltar.
that one.
eFIXX.
So,
It's
okay,
the
that's
Pro.
all right.
This is the Pro version.
Okay, yeah,
That's
all
what
right.
it says on it.
Okay, so nothing wrong with that, is there?
And it's a 7.3 kilowatt.
Tethered.
Well, you can only go to 7.2.
0.2.
Does it
Little
go
bit of
to 11?
upselling. A little bit of upselling. We got an extra point on there. Now I was with my great mate Marcus, who's going to come up and do some live streaming stuff with us for the apprentices. And he says, guys, there's one thing you haven't quite spotted. And then we had a little look underneath it.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so we've tried to use a bit of flexible conduit, which we all like a bit of flexible conduit. And we've not quite made it there, so we've made a temporary adjustment there, Gordon. What do you think we've used?
Yeah, I think that's that well-known cable gland called duct tape.
Okay, and you notice there is a communication cable in there, and if we go back to our original meter box one, we can actually see it sneaking through there as well, we think, can't
Yeah,
we?
it's in the background. Well,
Yeah, so if we come back into this one, you can just see there underneath the
just beyond the
second isolator of the lower one, yeah? Is that the cable?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a little
wandering
cable.
there. We
Yeah.
think that could be it's either a data cable or possibly a current transformer.
Oh, something like that. Right, okay,
Anyone's
so...
got any knowledge of the eVIXX brand? But it
Oh,
would
you
have
said
been
it again.
oh.
You said it again. So
Yeah.
put it down. So just look there. So for the wife, and certainly for me as well, very aspirational. Kids would love to live there. Dad would never afford it. But actually, haven't solved any of my problems, have I?
No.
Probably
You're still
created a load of new ones.
Yeah. So you're thinking moving to a new house and you're still going to have to spend more money.
However, for those people who've followed the channel for some time, we went down to Park Erin in Wales, didn't we? Okay. Was it in the Rhondda Valley when we went down
Yeah,
there?
it was,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so we went down there and we actually saw housing developments that had built it all in, hadn't they? And I said when we left there, if there was one of those houses in an estate somewhere near me, I would definitely buy it because it had ground source heat pump,
Ground source,
battery,
PV, EV, yeah.
smart, again, put it down, smart cylinder, didn't it? Yeah, everything, didn't it? And it was all built in, it all self-managed, didn't it? And you didn't have to do anything with it.
Yeah.
So I would suggest we're one or two steps behind those. Any other thoughts and feelings on new builds, please bang them in the comments below and we'll try and grab some of those on the way through, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Are you happy to talk to our guests now?
Yeah, no, we're
Okay,
on.
so we're going to talk to Simon and we're going to talk to Neil.
We'll start with Neil. Do you do any new builds? That's not your job, by the way, is it?
I don't think so. We don't do many new builds now. We used to do quite a few, but kind of price driven, aren't they? It's not our field of expertise, should I say.
So what is your field of expertise then? Be careful with your wording.
Well, we try to diversify now to EV.
He just went for that one,
Yes,
didn't he?
yeah.
We've been commercial and domestic electrical contractors for quite a few years, but we see the future as EV. That's where we want to kind of push our business. See a bit of a niche market, better margins and better clientele, to be fair.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, right, so you're suggesting if somebody or a company was to be installing EV, they'd be upwardly thinking as well as the people buying EV cars? Is that
Well,
what you
yeah,
think
it's
about
something that
clientele?
they want, isn't it, rather than being shoved on them.
Okay.
So we're not selling the product.
Yeah.
It's more of, you're giving them a solution.
Okay.
So you're selling it's the whole package that you're giving them, not just
And
this is
some of
what
those
you need.
some of those solutions have been the easy one as well, haven't you? You've been using that, and
Yeah.
you've been using it for more than one charging point. And we've looked at on the channel. We showed you the Zaptec one
Yeah, it
today,
was very
didn't we?
good, yeah.
Yeah. So it does
Yeah.
the same sort of thing. So a lot of load balancing and managing because maybe the incoming fuse isn't large enough.
Yeah,
etc.
you can have, easy, you've got to get it out there yet, the ALM, Active Load Management, but it's still a very, very good unit. When it does come out, I think it will certainly corner a good portion of the market, but there are other good units out there that do it as well, Savardis being one.
So when you obviously commercial charge, people are coming saying, right, we want to put EV chargers in the car park.
Yeah.
Do they always, obviously we know the limiting factor is always how much power is coming into the building.
Yeah.
Is that a sort of surprise for people to find that, you know, they want 100 chargers, but actually you can only have 3?
Well, it is, but the thing is, sometimes it's the other way around. They think they're using a lot more than they actually are because they've upgraded the lighting, LED. They're only using kind of monitors. They might have gas central heating. So they could have like 150 amp three-phase supply thinking they're using all that.
Right.
And then if we like put a data logger on or just put the clamp meter on, just for that, you know, the time that we're there, they're sometimes running about 18 amps per phase.
All right. Yeah.
So even if, depending on what they want and how many they want, if you've got active load management that's always monitoring the fuse at the front end, you know, that basically takes control of the safety aspect, so we're not going to take out the main fuses. So it's just making the guys aware that even though if we're putting 10, 22 kilowatt chargers in on the premises, doesn't mean that they're going to get 22 kilowatts out of every outlet if they all work simultaneously.
Yeah. And not many cars can charge at 22.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of cars only charge up to 7, some 11, I think even Tesla, 11 kilowatt.
Yeah, 11 or 16, yeah.
Yeah,
When
so
it was built.
you're giving them something that they may never use.
And again, it goes back, and we spoke about it on the channel loads of time. It's not a case of I pull in and I get a full charge. You get a little bit of charge, You get enough to get you to the next journey, your next station. That's a mind shift that we're going to have to go. Too many times we've been at a filling station. We need to see the needle go all the way to full before we drive away.
I don't think many EV drivers will be driving around with a nearly empty battery. You know, they've got some guts if they're going to be doing that.
Maybe they haven't tuned into all those live streams then, Gordon.
Yeah, you tuned in a couple of months ago until the weather goes cold.
Big gonads, yeah.
Yeah, oh no.
So as we go to Simon, I'm thinking about probably everybody had a difficult time, but so I'm thinking about now the wholesaler. So predominantly we turn up maybe at those early hours in the morning, 7:30 till 9, maybe could return later in the afternoon, pick up our goods. But then we had this thing in April 2020 that meant lots of people had to go home, but key workers could continue. So I'd imagine your business fell into that sort of remit. Did you have to alter your business over that period of time? Did you have a rethink? Did you decide maybe that, you know, the wholesale world that you're in needed a little bit of shake-up?
Yeah, well, at the time, it was horrendous for everybody. We obviously we went down to minimum staff, but we supplied hospitals and Heinz's and food factories. So we had a customer base that needed our services. So we still had business coming through, nowhere near what we normally have. But at that time, we decided to go online, which was very new for Express. Really, we've been around a long time. And it was an opportunity to go online. It was a completely new market. It's totally different to electrical wholesaling. I didn't understand the market or the way it goes. And I think traditional wholesalers, I think in the UK, apart from Edmonton's and probably Rexel Senate, I think most companies turn into be more of a hybrid. I think wholesale and retail has merged together.
Right.
People like Screwfix and online, other online companies have given visibility to consumers, to contractors, to everybody. So the distinction between retail and wholesale is merged. And I think if we hadn't gone online, you know, we wouldn't be having the benefits we have. Online to us opened the marketplace. Instead of having our 700 trading accounts that we have, we had an opportunity to supply many people in the UK. So that was very, very useful for us.
Okay, well, you know, I think that brings issues though. Doesn't that make your pricing scheme actually fully visible to anyone who comes online? So you can't hide your price, and I'm not suggesting the wholesaler does, but whenever I've used to going to a wholesaler back in my day, nothing had a price tag on it, and obviously there'd be, you know, what am I getting it for, X, Y, and Z. So now you've gone online, surely your prices are up front and central.
Well, that's the difficulty. If you want to sell online, it is competitive, and people that buy online, you know, are checking your prices all the time against other people's prices. So unless you are in the marketplace, you are not going to get any. You're not going to get any business.
Right.
However, wholesale market, some products we could get more for as we sold them over the counter, but given this visibility now, it's very difficult, and you've got pricing becomes a big issue.
All right, okay. So I'm trying to unpack that in my own mind. So obviously I can get an online price. Obviously I'm probably going to get it delivered to me. You're going to post it out to me, aren't you? I'm not going to drive to your wholesale. I could be in Devon or wherever I am, or I could be in Gibraltar.
It could be in Gibraltar. You will
Yeah,
get
so
supplied in
seamlessly
Gibraltar.
got that one right. Yeah. Okay. So I got that. Yeah, I come in across the counter,
Yep.
and there's a different service there, isn't there? Because all of a sudden, I'm not necessarily going to ask for price per item like I would online. I'm
No.
looking for prices. I'm going to take an order. Now there could be a difference in those prices one way or another. What's the benefit to the electrician effectively from getting the stuff over the counter? Explain it to especially the people that are maybe trying to get into our industry. What effect are you providing the electrician with?
Well, having a trade counter builds good relationships between ourselves and our customers. And not just our customers, they meet other customers and they develop relationships. And very often they'll price jobs together, or they'll do jobs together, or they'll come in, they need us, a few lads to help. So there's a bit more of a community to it, and there's a lot more service. And if there is a problem, then you've got a face-to-face person to deal with. You've got a relationship, and they will more likely sort it out. So there's good benefits on trade counter business. The online is a totally different model. It's not wholesale. It's a different business structure. I didn't understand it. You know, the SEOs and the bloody all the other language we have to deal with. So I didn't get involved too deeply in it. However, we've had some great success, and that is simply because we had a bigger presence and a bigger shopping window.
I think you've been too polite to yourself there, because actually I think the electrical wholesaler is probably the bank of the electrical industry, because when I come in and I take all those goods off you, you're not asking for any money.
No.
You're going to send me an invoice, and that invoice doesn't necessarily need to be paid within 10 minutes of it arriving. There's probably quite a long lead time with me, actually. So you effectively are bankrolling me as a business by the amount of terms and conditions you give me before I have to pay. And I think that's probably where there is a slight disconnect between some of the businesses out there. If you walk in, let's use Screwfix, you mentioned earlier, I've got to pay for the stuff over the counter from Screwfix and walk out. I come into your wholesaler, you've actually bankrolled me for a period of time. How long could it be before I pay you if I'm going to pay on time? How long could that be?
60 days, 90 days, you know. So
That's a long time.
We are a bank, but it allows, you know, that's about relationships. If you have a relationship with a contractor, then you're going to support him to win jobs, you know, that he perhaps couldn't win because he couldn't finance them. So yeah, we build a relationship and we help them finance and we help them grow the businesses. But I mean, that's the way it's always been.
Yeah, but there is different wholesalers. We know, we've experienced them ourselves. It's we've almost got a family business and a major retailer here in Skipton, haven't we? And there's two ends of the scale, especially on the service. But I think, yeah, you're right. It's the service you get. It's that one-to-one, the support, the community of the electricians. But underneath all that, really, it's also 90 days worth of credit for the electrician.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
Gordon.
And do you find most are the customers online new customers, or have you got your local existing customers? Are they using the online service, or do they still stick to branch?
Generally, no, the new customers.
Yeah.
We haven't opened to trade customers online really, it's because to monitor credit limits and you've got to know your business, you've got to know the people. So we've not really hit trade online. So really, it's just cash online.
Yeah.
But it's very good for cash flow. We get paid up front. It's fantastic. Because I don't think sometimes the contractors don't realise that we have to pay for our stuff very often, bang on the end of the month, and if we don't pay them, then you're on the stop. It's as simple as that. There's no extra terms. That's it. Those are the terms like the lump it.
So yeah, look at that. So let's pick Luden Palazzoli make all their products. Obviously, they give them to you. You have to pay them, and then you send the products out, and you've got that 90 days potentially before you're getting your money. So there's obviously a cost to that, and I think that's some people don't appreciate that. When we've got a Barclay card or a credit card of some sort, there are other cards out there. You put your money on it, and if you pay it at the end of the month, okay, no interest. However, if you don't, obviously there is an interest payment. So if I bought something off you online, there might be a slight price difference, but I've got the ability to have a 90-day window in order to get it back, and that may be more advantageous to me than perhaps paying up front.
Definitely, especially if you're trying to grow your business, and you need finance, it's assistance.
And I think that's probably something people have not been scared to say, but that's the truth of it, isn't it? You walk in, you get a certain price, you get another price, but you get the benefits of all the other things that you've suggested there. And you said also to us when we've been talking about this off camera about you help electricians in the lighting area, don't you? You help them with their design in your company.
Yeah, we've got 3 lighting designers. So we design many different sorts of, whether it's commercial, industrial, products, and we've had a lot of success over the last 10 years actually. So we actually import the products and specify the products, and we need to do that because it's a very competitive market, and we as a business have to find an area where we can make some margin. Cable, no one makes money out of cable, or very few make money out of cable.
Okay.
Cable management, it's very difficult to make money out of these
You had a
commodity products.
great story, Simon, about cable. So let's go back. It was £35 a drum. How much did you make on it?
Yeah, you're lucky to make a couple of quid a drum.
So that's 2.5 all those years ago. Yeah, a couple of quid. So let's say that drum of cable's now 75 quid. How much are you making on that?
A couple of quid.
Couple of quid. So it hasn't changed, has it?
No.
Because it's a commodity item. It's like
Correct.
a box of raw plugs.
Yeah, there's no profit in 2.5 cable or 1.5. It's just it's just a service. By the time we picked it up, put it on the van, delivered it, and waited to get paid, in reality, we probably lost money on that.
Okay.
It's like milk in a supermarket.
Yeah.
Milk and bread.
So there's not many tears out there for you. Look, yes, electrical man is not genuine.
It's another poor wholesaler.
Yeah, with a Range Rover out the front. Okay, so that's worth bearing in mind, isn't it? I think we don't realise what they're doing for us sometimes, that wholesaler, do we? And then there's returns, isn't there? So I've gone on site, something's failed in front of my very eyes when I've taken an impact driver to it. I can't believe it hasn't survived the approach that I had on it. I take it back out. The first thing I want to do is drop it on your counter.
Yep,
And I'm going to want my money back. I know. I want a credit note, don't I?
you certainly do.
And then you're now down the product, aren't you? And you've got to send it back
Yep.
in order to get your money back. So you're in a rock and hard place here, isn't it?
Yes, we take products back, and very often we don't get credited from the manufacturer. But I don't know. It's just the industry that we're in. I think we just take it on the chin. Wholesalers generally. We're too lazy probably to send the stuff back.
Oh, you said that. You weren't going to say that.
Yeah, but we are. Some of our branches are very good because they see it as cash and return it, you're getting money back.
Yeah.
Other branches see it as very difficult and a pain doing the administration and sending it back. So very often the faulties that come back to us just go straight in the skip.
So that's another loss to you.
Yeah, I don't mind if they've actually bought it from us, but occasionally I actually see quite a few other wholesalers' products that are in my returns bucket, which they haven't even bought from us.
You're crediting somebody back for something you haven't bought. I love it. I'm glad he said that when Simon said. Simon's been hilarious off camera. He's been very politically correct.
Yes, it's been very difficult.
Yeah, you like the odd rude word, don't you? So we've had some great fun. Wow, that's a lot to take in there.
So if you've got a product that's failed, just drop it off at the Wigan branch.
No, Wigan do it right. Drop it off at any of the branches and you'll be right.
Maryport.
You don't even have to buy it off us.
Take it to Maryport for a soft touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what about, getting on the prices, obviously we touched on it earlier, prices and stuff, we seem to get letters from people, everyone seems to be putting prices up of the raw materials.
Well, whether we like it or not, raw materials, whether it's copper, which is cable, whether it's cable management, which is steel, whether it's plastic trunking, it's PVC, all these commodities in prices have gone up and they've continued to go up. We get cable price increases twice a month. It's just a pain to set the price in the computer. It's not going to stop, unfortunately. There's more price increases continuing. It's got to stop at some point because when people are pricing the jobs, which is very concerning, contractors price jobs ahead based on prices, and when they come to do the jobs 6 months, 6 months later, those prices could be 30% dearer. But I can assure you, it's not the wholesalers making a massive margin. We're making less margin, the same amount of money. But it's just unfortunate the situation with no control over these commodity products.
Yeah.
Are you repricing jobs, Neil, that you've done in the past? Or is it
Well, to be fair, if you're asking for price on like 25, 35 mil armoured, I think you're only giving us 24 to 48 hours to hold that price.
Wow.
So we've got to put a margin on, an over margin, because we give 30 days on our quotes. So then if we get the job accepted, we're not then going back to the customer and saying, well, actually, we need an extra little bit. We kind of build it at the front end. Some contractors do, some don't. But we don't want to be seen to be like trying to rip customers off when we get an order.
Right.
So it is difficult because I think Simon touched on it before. We do use wholesalers as a bit of a bank, But then that kind of works for us also, because we're not getting paid on 30 days,
Oh, I know.
60 days. It's a full knock-on, so we've got to work with wholesalers, and that's why, for me, you know, you've got to show loyalty both ways as well on your prices and stuff.
It's good. And then we had a conversation, didn't we, Neil, about answering questions for the customer. And this is something, again, in the comments, you know, we picked an easy one, the AFDD, whether you like them or not, then probably here for at least the short term to stay. And it says it's recommended, and hopefully you watched the video with Joe that said where the regulations say recommended, the actual word is what, Gordon?
Should.
Should.
Yeah.
Okay, so it should. So you should do something. And it doesn't mean you say, well, the customer won't have them because they're too expensive. That's not, and we had this conversation, didn't we, Neil, where we said, you've got to sit the customer down, explain the benefits of having something. We used AFDDs as an easy example. And then you've got plenty of examples of buildings that may have a fault that led back to a socket outlet, and this could have potentially saved that issue. Yeah. Don't speak on their behalf. Don't say what the customer doesn't want to do, because often the customer will listen to the story and think, hang on a minute, that makes a logical sense. How much are they? They're this much. I need 2 of them. That's probably going to be a decision that, it might be a case, they do make the decision, but we often, don't we? The customer won't pay that much for a downlight. The customer won't pay this much for a 3-phase industrial distribution board. Well, let's have the conversation with the customer more often and see what they say.
It's more about giving professional advice, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we're going in sometimes trying to undersell ourselves when we should be there saying, look, you know, we're giving you the design, we're giving you the installation, we're giving you the warranties, we're answering questions that, you know, we're actually putting questions to you about us. You know, we're saying, well, you really should need to know about this. So I think we need to be upselling things rather than kind of sweep it under the carpet and trying to win every job to be the cheapest. Yeah. You know, because
and we did this. Sorry. No, you go.
I'm just saying we won't work, obviously, but we don't want to do it at the bargain basement, you know, cheap option, because we're going to be going back to stuff all the time. Then that minimal margin that we've got in because we've won it on nothing, we're going to be losing money in 2 or 3, 4, you know, return visits time. Yeah.
We had Richard Fewing, didn't we, from Sales Geek, and a classic one with a toothbrush, wasn't it? So it's 3 toothbrushes, one's 40 pence, one's £1.10 and one's £3. You've already upsold yourself. You're not going to be having the 40p one because you don't buy 40p toothbrushes. I apologise for people who do. And then you sort of naturally upsell yourself to that middle one, if nothing else. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're not almost giving our customer that ability to do that, are we? No. We're saying if it isn't the cheapest price, they're not going to take it. But there's lots of other things that are more beneficial to the customer that they just need explaining to them rather than just, I've won it on price. Because you might be getting the products that maybe, you know, with an informed decision, you won't be having. Because labour doesn't change, does it? No. Cable price is fixed. Whatever equipment goes on the end of it, you can't get cable in cheaper. No. So the one thing we're going to compromise on is the bit you see, the bit you use, the bit you interact with, is the bit that we're trying to get cheaper if we think of a downlight or something like that. Yeah, and that was an interesting conversation. It goes back to, we should get Richard back in, I think.
But then you look at a new build house, they will always take the cheapest.
Well, we've just seen that,
We've just seen. But nobody ever has that discussion. Nobody ever puts a good, better, best on the table and says to the person buying the house, do you want the white socket? Do you want this one or do you want that one? Yeah. We don't. I've never seen that happen.
I think sometimes it's the house builder that does that, and they take the massive margin, don't they? Yeah. You know, they upsell that on the, you know, do you want the chrome sockets? Do you want the, you know, different lighting, extras? And it's those guys that take the margin. Yeah. You know.
Interesting. And again, your thoughts. I'll take it. We've had bits and bats coming in as questions. So while we're having those thoughts, can you just bang your GT time in for him? Remember, it's JB from, where's he live? He never says where he lives, JB.
Oxford.
Oh yeah, JB in Oxford. So can we bang the GT times in as well while we're doing this? So we carry on the chat. So what we got in the comments?
He loves. Oh, JB's on. He loves downlights. And baggy sleeving, I've heard as well.
Yeah, baggy sleeving. Yeah, baggy trousers tonight.
Yeah. So, but it's, Alan Sugar did the best. I don't know if you've ever read Alan Sugar's autobiography.
I've got it at home.
I don't remember when, we're going back a bit of time, Gary, to your youth here, when the computers first came in, you could get one with a green screen.
You could, or a colour screen, wasn't it?
Yeah, so his entry price was the green screen. People were like, geez, I'm not having a computer with a green screen, so I'll then trade myself up to the colour one.
Yeah, naturally upsold themselves.
Yeah, because no one wanted a green screen. No. So, but we don't do that with a lot of stuff. We just take it basic. So,
that is interesting. Do you want to go through a few comments?
There is, hold on. I will get some times in. We are coming up to time to do the Electricians Challenge, and it is JB Electrical from Oxford. And price tonight, well, you could win if you get the right time. One of these.
Oh wow!
Wiha bottle openers. If you get the right time in minutes and seconds.
You've got a few there though, champ, haven't you? You've got. So you're thinking that you might be giving more than one away? Or
Well,
several,
we'll see.
Dave?
We'll see. We'll just.
I don't know why you think there might be several on the table.
Well, people might have seen it in the background of previous videos. They might have leaked the time. So if there's people get the exact time, we'll do a draw to see who gets the bottle opener. The times are coming in, and well, some people think he's going to be incredibly slow by the looks of it here. But we'll let those come in. For a bit
Yeah, we'll
longer.
do. Yeah. So can you just see if there's any comments come through that we can answer?
Lots on wholesalers. So
Yeah, go on. Let's have those.
That's
Both Simon.
Yes, come on, bring it on.
There's no returns outstanding Stockport, allegedly. So. I don't know if you know Paul Mortimer.
No, he's a good lad.
Yeah,
He's a good lad.
Oh, you do know him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he in the wholesale trade?
Yes, he's in our branch in Stockport. Yes.
Ah, right. Okay.
Any reason why you brought the Yes Electrical man with you rather than him, then?
Well, he works for me, this fella.
Oh, right. Okay.
I was free.
Oh, right. Okay. You were free. Well, you weren't at Yes Electrical today, were you? You spend more time at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, going back through here. There's someone else. East Power Engineering in Kenya. Oh, do you supply to Kenya?
Oh, well, that could be another one,
Yeah, there you go. A new customer in Kenya tonight.
There you go then.
You said Ghana.
But that's how we ended up with Ghana, just through an email.
So you supply to Ghana?
Yes. And we got an email for another wholesaler, and it got sent to us by mistake.
Yeah.
And
I
we
mean,
did-
the
and we've
interesting
been
one,
dealing
Big
for
Ash
20
here,
years.
is saying customers don't want quality, they want cheap. I disagree with that, really. Some people just want to buy on price.
Yes.
And if that's what someone's
that's their
focused
model,
on,
that's
then
fine.
give them cheap. And yeah, we had this in that electrician with Richard Hughes being everyone can be the cheapest contractor in town.
Yeah.
But there'll always be someone a little bit cheaper. But some customers don't want cheap. And I guess the classic is that home rewire we keep coming back to. The guys up in Scotland who do the one-day rewire, started in one-day rewires, moved on to, shall we say, fast rewires, then moved from doing local authority houses in a day to what looks, if you look at social media, quite well-heeled houses in the middle of Edinburgh.
Yeah, 6-bedders.
Where someone doesn't want an electrician in for 2 weeks wiring a house. They want the job doing quickly.
Yeah.
So there's a value to speed sometimes.
Time, isn't there?
Yeah.
And he talks about being time poor. Again, we should really, if you haven't watched that, you should go back. He talked about us all being time poor and how we make our decisions based on being time poor and that. And it's not always based about money. Think about, the convenience of using Amazon. Amazon aren't always the cheapest, okay, but they get it to you the next day. So you're happy to pay that. You haven't got to do anything else. You're happy to have it arrive, and you're prepared to pay potentially a premium or no more searching because you can get it next day.
You need to be talking to the wives and the ladies. They'll be making the decisions on, and if you want to upsell, contractors want to upsell, they're the people that will buy. The husbands may not be so keen, but the ladies are the ones that screw. And you get a lot of ladies going into ScrewFix, buying equipment. And that's why they've got ladies staff behind the counter at ScrewFix, to encourage that kind of business, because if women see what they want, they'll want it and they'll have it, and that's as simple as it is. So the decision maker, perhaps you need to be looking at who you're trying to sell the product to.
Okay. You're moving house, Gary. You're being told.
Yeah.
You're not moving
I'm buying that 5-bed one with a dodgy EV. I don't know it yet. Yeah, I must admit, we booked a holiday this week and I weren't at home. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, that decision. Yeah, just sent me with booked.
Are we off to Gary's at Middlesbrough?
No. We're just going for a cheeky little weekend. I've got to be careful. Kids don't know, but they won't watch it.
Okay.
So.
Your dad's gone on holiday without you. Just landed at party time.
Yeah, Gibraltar. Yeah, we're off to Gibraltar. Yeah.
Well, must be ready, Gary.
We've got loads of times.
Any more times in for JB? I'm going to have a peek behind the curtain to see what his time he actually did it in. Actually.
Okay.
But, let's see how. Well, let's cut to it. I hope you haven't eaten your tea.
And I hope it wasn't meat and 2 veg.
It's time for another Electricians Challenge. Now, if you tuned in a few weeks ago, you'll realise we're halfway through a bromance. These two reprobates here on the side, we've got James Barrett and Rick Hearn.
It's the soft hands that got me.
Just met. There we go. And,
So eager.
we're along to do the Electricians Challenge. And Rick went last time and put in a very commendable time. But now it's your turn, James, isn't it? Now, you're not really on the tools now, are you?
No, I just do it weekends and evenings, and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah, I teach Electra at a training centre, so in Oxford. So I do that 5 days a week. So
Yeah. So why did you go from the tools onto teaching?
I'll put it in a nice way. I wanted to improve the quality of the education of electricians coming through.
Yeah, and you enjoying that?
Oh yeah, massively. Yeah. I like to make a difference, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
And super important, we see that obviously people who've got experience and go back into teaching make a massive difference to obviously the quality of the end product that hopefully we'll see coming out there.
yeah,
Yeah. So you're in the Oxford area. We'll get that from your hashtag. You're always in Oxford.
I am always in Oxford.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good area to work.
of course it is. It's
Paved
Oxford.
with gold.
I'm Oxford educated.
Yeah.
Self-taught.
You're self-taught, yeah. Nice. It is good. It's a nice area to live and work, and I've known loads of people for years, so it's nice. And when you're all getting students in now, and they're working for people that you went to college with, and the whole cycle's going around, it's great. And I think knowing that I can make a difference to them, and seeing their end product, seeing them progress through, it's nice.
Yeah.
And the fact is, as well, I like to keep on the tools. I like to keep busy. I like to do my own stuff. If you're gonna teach it and preach it, then you got to be able to do it, haven't you? So.
And at the weekend, you like fitting downlights.
Downlights and baggy sleeving.
Definitely baggy sleeving.
Yeah.
Baggy sleeving.
Baggy
Is that what it's known
sleeving.
for, Rick?
Yeah,
Is that-
baggy
oh,
sleeving.
yeah.
No, for.
I've got the world's biggest collection of baggy sleeving. Well, so see how he got on back on the tools. Let's see how he got on with the Electricians Challenge.
Yeah.
JB is off and running, and this is game face time.
It is. He's a cheeky chappy off camera, and then suddenly it comes to this and goes all serious.
Well, that's 3 screws already done in the board. He's changed screwdrivers, which is another top tip. Use a posi in the consumer unit and a flathead down here, even though the non-electricians tend to stick to one screwdriver because they're not always sure which one goes in which place.
Now, here's what's going on here. Oh, that was a first. Was that just a cheeky nip up with the teeth there, Gary?
It's something that the great Ray Maloney will do in the future weeks, but yes, the first one to use their teeth.
I don't know if it's a top tip. That come back in a few years, your mouth will look like an archaeological dig.
It sounds that you've had a lot of experience of spending money on dentures, young man, so is that something that you've been into?
Well, I don't clatter as much as yours, Gary, but anyway, meanwhile, back to this. He's gone through fast here, old JB.
He is ripping through that. Yeah, that
Look
was
at that beady icon. It looks like he's about to start a fight with it.
Okay, so snipping the ends. I would say anyone who uses croppers tends to be at the top end of the leaderboard. That tends to be what's followed through for all the other ones we've seen. Stripped all 3 ends, back in with this large screwdriver. Where do you think you got this from?
I don't know, that's a one, we haven't seen that before. If anyone knows the brand, mention it, but I suspect it's from the centre aisle of one of the low-cost discount retailers.
Okay, so centre aisle of Lidl. He probably picked that up, a pair of slippers and some bubble bath. I think it's got a whiff of Wilco about it, that screwdriver. And I'd like to say JB's arms aren't the longest. I wouldn't like to suggest he's maybe the T-Rex of the electrical industry, but if he had a longer screwdriver, I don't think he'd actually get to the consumer unit.
No, he's struggling. I thought he was going to go for a Ramo at some stage, but he didn't. I noticed he has tattooed his address on the inside of one of his arms as well, just to remember his way home.
Yeah, problem is he's moved twice since he put it on there, so he always ended up going back to the wrong house. Now, this is the Hearn, I'm going to call
I
it.
think he's picked up a tick from Rick last time, UK Spark, yeah.
Yeah, so he's cut the CPC longer and he's going to split them. But what Rick didn't do, you watch this is time saving. All of them in one.
Oh, yeah, that does make a difference. All these little things add up. And getting back in with those croppers.
Yeah, pretty proficient with those croppers.
Yeah. I think he gave some time away here, Gary, because someone who's a little bit faster would have undone those screws already when they took the socket off.
Non-electrician's top tip, if the screwdriver's in your hand, do all the screws you can with it before you put it down. You don't want to keep picking it back up.
Study your Japanese Kaizen methods.
That's exactly what I was thinking there, Gordon. So we were in with the line conductor, 2 CPCs in one hole, and a couple of seconds there maybe lost.
Oh, strand split out.
But this is looking good. If I was Ross Sands sitting at home, I might be now closer to the edge of the seat than when I started watching it.
Yep, he's fumbling a little bit. This could be it. This could cost him the lead.
Everybody leaves a little bit on the table. Ross reckons there was 10 seconds in his race. So here we go. 2 screws away from completing. And it'll be interesting to see whereabouts on the leaderboard we are.
Yeah, socket always catches a few people there. He's recovered it.
Yeah, push it back with your hand. Get that one nice and tight. 1 screw away.
Oh, he's getting up already.
No.
He's going for it. No. Oh, I thought he was poised.
I'm sure we'll be smiling when he stands up. Oh, keep his blushes.
Well, James, that actually looked pretty fast. And would you say you're a competitive person?
Not overly. I mean, if I know I can do something, I've made mistakes, then I'll beat myself up about it. I felt like I made a few mistakes, nerves, etc. That just when I was putting it in, I just felt the little strand of copper coming out. I thought, oh no! And by the time I was thinking about it, that was it. I wasted I probably wasted about 20 seconds, I expect.
He was like a bull grunting on his last run. He was going for it. So I mean, looking across at the leaderboard, where do you think you are? Where would you like to be?
I would like to be above Aaron. Obviously Mark's at bottom, but he's such a lovely bloke that yeah, it is what it is. I'd like to beat Rick.
Well, yeah, that's not very good, Rick, is it?
Used to it.
Gifford.
Oh yeah, Craig Gifford, who let you
Yeah,
down, was supposed to be coming up.
I'm number 1 in Oxford, so yeah, as long as I beat him, I don't care.
Well, let's have a look, James. Right, have you got on with the Electricians Challenge? Well, please know you're in the 3s, which puts you in the running above Damien, Richard. You're certainly above Rick. You actually did this in 3 minutes and 13. Puts you 4th.
I'm happy with that.
Reminds me, when do I need to get those spuds out the ground, Gordon?
It's coming up that time, Gary. Yeah, we had to protect his modesty there. Actually, at the end,
It was a difficult edit. Remember, I had the whole thing. I had 3 different ones. The second one was the worst. I was pleased he didn't. His second time weren't his best time.
yeah. So perhaps we'll buy him a belt next time.
Yes, absolutely. Very competitive though. JB did really want to do well. Did want to be above Gifford,
Yeah.
and he was above Gifford. But it's brought up a few strangeness in the times, though, Gordon, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
there was a few people. A few people got it strange, suspiciously bang on.
And first,
3 minutes 13 and the first one in, but we will honour that. So we've got 3 winners who've got exactly 3 minutes 13. We have Terry Moore, Craig Gifford, hashtag secret millionaire, the only person masquerading as an electrician, but really the millionaire. So, and in the Oxford area as well, and DEC Electrical as well. So, well, yeah, if you go in the form below, there's a Get Involved tab. If you fill in, wander your way through there, say you've won something, put your address in, and we'll get that out within 28 days.
if you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Okay. So, yeah, that's great. So that means then we're on to Gary Swap Shop's finished as well. Thank you very much for joining on with that. Let's just bring him in once more because he's young and chipper. Let's bring him in. Gary's keyword today was?
For Gary's Swap Shop, today's keyword is Express Electrical. Alright, you're still rolling, Gary.
And when did he get his teeth done?
Turkey.
Turkey. Have we got a price for those veneers? How much were the veneers?
Turkey teeth.
Yeah, how much was turkey teeth?
Well, they are only plastic.
They're okay. They look good.
Put the Callum cam on there, Gary.
So let's get. Yeah, there he is. Look, you can see him. They are. Yeah, pearly whites. How much were those pearly whites?
Well, they got a job lot. Him and his brother had them done at the same time.
Oh, buy one get one free.
Yeah, and Callum got the free ones.
It looks like I got them out of a camel. So fantastic, brilliant. He's been great sport today. Yeah, everyone here's been great. We've had, again, we'll reiterate, we've had a blast, and we've done very well to get this deep into it without any rude words. Even though 1 or 2 have been breathed, I think, during.
I have to hold myself back.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, so that brings on Gary's Swap Shop. We must have a couple of winners for that, Gordon. Who did you pick out?
So the winners there, Alan Chan and Brian Hewitt.
Okay, so again, you haven't won anything, unfortunately, Alan and Brian. You need to send me to Lineside Studios a magazine from a trade counter, and Gordon's just thumbing his way through his favourite one at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that a no?
Well, it's got some Milwaukee stuff in
Oh
here.
dear,
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
We've moved on to the rigid STRUTSLAYR.
Okay, make sure you say that correctly.
Yeah, that's been a challenge as well this week.
Yes.
But, yeah, send us an electrical magazine. Yeah.
And you send that down to Lineside Studios here in Skipton. We can find the address by the...
In the Get Involved tab
Yes,
below.
yeah.
Send them through, and that's, try and find an exotic one. I mean, that's,
Yeah, okay, so send us your magazine. If you send us your magazine and a little letter inside there, we need your address as well, because obviously I don't know where you live. So you get your magazines to Lineside Studios here in Skipton, BD23 1TB. And I will send you out your Wago connectors and your eddy current hat.
Yeah, and we did well last time on the conduit bushes. Yeah, so I asked someone to send a 50mm one because we don't have many, and
Yeah.
that's what we got. So yeah.
We did send out a signed poster this.
I did. It was Lisa M
Okay.
up in Scotland. Yeah, with a fantastic letter there. And
Yeah.
It's pinned on our notice board in our new kitchen.
Yeah, I noticed there's something else who's been pinned on our notice board in our new kitchen as well. Yeah, we'll bring a photograph of that in at some point. Yeah, again, yeah. The art team's been at work, I would suggest. Yeah, foolish, I would suggest foolish. Okay, so that's brilliant. So we sent those bits, and we sent some extra bits, didn't we? Because we had such a lovely letter that came through with that as well. Okay, so effectively, we've just got to do one more thing, which is the following. We've got to thank the great people that help us come live to you every 2 weeks, and without their help, we wouldn't be here. So we'd like to thank the great people at Lasico. We'd like to thank the wonderful people at Wago, and we'd like to thank the people at... He's even looking up early. He's looking up early. We'd like to thank our great friends at Doncaster Cables, #AboveAaron. We'd also like to thank our friends even at Ludum Palazzoli, as well as...
Lasico.
I've done them.
Marshall Tuffley?
Yes.
Yeah, there you
wow.
go.
He's even looking when he didn't get them. He didn't get them. So what we're going to do now, for the people who want to stay on, and we're always humbled for anyone who stays on, we're going to slip ourselves into what we call the plug and socket. So if you stayed for the main show because you wanted to win some prizes, that's fantastic. All the prizes have been given away, and we're just going to answer some questions, talk to our wonderful guests here from Express Electrical, as well as Neil, as well as our contracting electrician who does things to do with cars that run on batteries. So that one. That's where we are next. We're going to slip into the plug and socket. So thank you very much if you joined us for the main show. And that's us. We're relaxed.
Yeah.
Right, okay, good. That's all good. Right, where do you want to go first, Gordon? Any good questions?
Craig Gifford's threatening to come back up.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, right, well, he should have come up when JB was up. He let us down.
He did. Yeah.
I think everybody let JB down there, didn't I? I think it was going to be a minibus full of them, wasn't it?
Apart from Rick. Rick was good fun.
Yeah, good fun, Rick. And I think he's been out on site with another well-known YouTuber recently as well, Rick.
Right.
So we'll look out for a video coming out from him. I don't want to spoil it to anyone. You have to follow him on social media.
I think we've got Richard Cockline suggesting he's going to come up, or he did when we were at Alex, so we'll wait to get that in.
Is he local? You said he's up here. Is that the
No,
one?
his parents have got a caravan on the outskirts of Skipton, Gary.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, centre of the universe.
Okay,
So,
brilliant. Okay. But I've not seen a caravan park around it. Are they statics?
Yeah.
Oh, right, I've not seen a static one.
Yeah, there's a few.
Oh, is that?
Tourist area.
I know that, but I've not seen. I've not seen the caravans, the statics. I like a static caravan.
Well, that's tomorrow morning. We're having a trip out to show Gary a static
I do like a static caravan.
Come on, children.
Well, we go to
static caravans.
I go to the same one every year in California, don't I?
Yeah.
Every year I take my kids to California. Have done since they were born. I had a couple of years beforehand. I took my wife to California.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Cliff's Great Yarmouth. So it's all good.
Oh, good.
Got another one. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, belting.
Yeah.
So great.
Every year.
So great coming on this show.
Electricians can't afford holidays, can we?
No. I'm not an electrician anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, even worse,
I
isn't
can
it?
tell you can't. It's
Failed teacher,
wholesalers
failed
taking
electrician, failed presenter.
Well, you're consistent. And life's about being consistent. If you fail at everything, you're consistent, so you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm nothing wrong
Taking
with
it
that.
to another level.
Yeah. Another lower level and another lower level. That's good. We've got any questions? Anyone want us to address anything? Anyone? We want to circle back in because off camera, Neil's come up with a great point. We can't believe we missed it, which makes it a great point. Let's look at that meter box again.
Oh, we'll have a meter box.
Yeah, okay. Neil, what's missing?
Well, RCD, if you think that twin and earth is not surface clipped inside, because it is needs some sort of RCD protection.
Unless they've installed it, obviously, in a metallic
Surface,
conduit.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
metallic
Armour
earth conduit.
plating.
Yeah. Some sort of, metal enclosure that's earthed, not capping. Capping doesn't count. Great
Bit of
point.
sealant.
Absolutely great point, yeah. So, again, if you picked that one up as well, sorry if we missed it in the comments as it flying through. Yeah, dead right. No RCD protection on that. That's sub-main circuit going into the installation. Okay?
Yeah.
Unless you know better than us. Okay, so that's good.
Oh, we need a plug and socket poster. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
We could do them, yeah. That's a
Yeah,
good
or
idea.
sticker.
I'll make a note of that, yeah.
Plug and socket poster. Yeah, or sticker, I like it. Yeah, that's good. We've got the shark one, that's what we signed, didn't we? Rick was the first one on it, wasn't he? He thought it was there. So let's bring Rick in. Rick was the first one to sign that. He was up there early with a signature. Couldn't believe his luck. You put your gloves on, didn't you, to sign it? Did you put your red gloves on so we knew who you were? Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did think about it. Give us a smile, Callum. Hey, there they are. Oh, dear me.
Did Marshall Tufflex make those teeth?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, recycled windows for set teeth. Love it. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. Top grade plastic, that is. Recycled windows. Yeah, all the offcuts, isn't it? They can bash them back up, put them into their trunking. All good. So, where are we going then, Gordon? So, guide us through the plug and socket, young man.
Yeah, I think people are still getting over from JB's exploits at the minute.
Imagine having to put the emoji on it. I mean, it was low, wasn't it? I mean, they were low. Yeah. Oh,
I think the dentist needs a prize. Oh dear. Insulated teeth are a safety consideration too. Well, there's been a lot of people using teeth to do. Is that one coming up?
Yeah, no, we've got some. Oh, we haven't had it. It's called a Maloney, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we obviously got the Ramo.
Yeah.
We've now got the Maloney. So we're a bit like, what was that program where they used to name the corners on that track called? What was that called, Gordon?
Top Gear. Was it?
Top Gear. Something like that. And they used to race a car around, didn't they?
Gambon
And they had
corner,
like a cable tray leaderboard, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they used to use like magnetic strips, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they had Gambon. Was that a corner?
It was, yeah.
And now we've
Gambon.
got the Maloney, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we've got
full
another
Ramo.
one. Yeah, full Ramo, half Ramo. We've got a new one coming up soon, haven't we?
Yeah.
No use.
You don't realise this, Neil. You've
Am I giving birth to something?
Here you go. We'll look at each other when something's going on. Like, oh yes, we've got a moment here. Yeah. You've done something.
You might have seen Gary adjust the camera angle at one point, and I thought, I know exactly what he's doing.
What he's doing here? Okay, I need to think about that one.
Yeah. And you were so consistent. You did it on all 3 runs, so I went in a world of trouble on the edit. So yeah, that's good. And I think we had some teeth today, didn't we? We had some Maloney's in today. Some teeth.
Yes, we
Yeah,
did,
we had some Maloney moments.
Yeah. If you're not guessing, there were 3 guests today have all taken the Electricians Challenge, and that'll be out. Yeah, we'll do a triple header at some point. Yeah.
Sound. So we're all 3 in the same night.
Yeah, obviously father, son, customer. The tension in has been electric today.
Yeah.
There's relationships destroyed.
And at one point, it felt like Callum was that upstart YouTuber in a boxing arena. You know, the ones where they strut around thinking they've made it in the boxing world. I can't remember who they are.
Paul Jake.
Paul Jake, whatever his name is. Yeah, so it felt a bit like that when he was strutting around.
No, he thought he was Colin McGregor.
Did he?
Yeah, Colin McGregor.
Colin
That's what I
McGregor.
thought it was, yeah.
Callum McGregor.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had a lot of that, didn't we? A lot of banter going on. So yeah, triple out. I like the sound of that. So we'll start the show with one. We'll have one in the middle,
Yeah.
and then we'll have one at the end, and all three. Ooh, that's going to be a
Special
difficult.
prize. We'll have to put a big prize up for that one.
What we?
I think I know what it is.
What about the accumulative time added together closest? Maybe
Oh.
that should be it. I don't know. That'd be tricky.
Yeah, it will for me to add up.
Well, no, they'll put the 3 times together in.
Yeah.
We'll add it up off camera.
Okay.
We'll know the answer. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So
We've had a good one. Someone
Go
said on price and jobs.
yeah.
Has anyone ever been taught how to price a job? Where did you learn how to price jobs?
I used to work for a contractor where I went into the office. I had a bit of an injury, so I couldn't work on the tools. I kind of picked it up from there. We used to use software, like, Amtech back in the day.
Right.
And that's where I picked it up, and then just passed it on when I kind of moved on and did my own thing. But it is
But
like,
to be honest, you're one of the few contractors that know the difference between markup and gross profit margin, which was a shock to me today, actually. You surprised me with that. So well done.
Yeah. But no one does. You never teach that, do you?
No.
All these years teaching electricians.
We did when I was being taught, and we had a lot longer to do it then. We got given a project, a sort of a conduit installation, and so many lights, and it said like there was like I don't know 8 lights to fit, and we had to say how long it would take us to fit 8 fluorescent light fittings. So all of us went like 2 hours. That's all it's going to take, bang those in. But actually, it was like time allotted for each light fitting was like 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Right.
Rest and relaxation was introduced to us. And that was the first time I'd ever heard that. Yet I then, within a couple of months or a year, I went and worked on a full conduit installation in a car park where we put fluorescent lights up, and we were given about an hour to fit one. So you can imagine on a price, that was brilliant. So we were just,
Banging it.
lengths of conduit, and you got 1 hour, but they built in rest and relaxation. We didn't get a price, but yeah, and that was news to me.
Was that when it used to be the electricity board?
Yeah, it was the electricity board, yeah.
The cheapest contractor in town.
Well, yeah, I know. But again, but as courses get changed, all we're now interested in, and we'll probably cover this when we do the live streams for apprentices, the college is going to give you so little information in 5 hours a week for 3 years that actually if you don't take ownership beyond the college, which people don't, they don't go away and read about around the subject, that's not enough information. That is not enough information, 5 hours a week for 35 weeks of the year, 3 years, to become a skilled engineer or electrical, whatever you want to call yourself.
Yeah. Oh. UK Spark's got near overpricing the job because you don't want the job. Yeah, it's fair enough. The challenge is sometimes if you then win that job, isn't it? You think you've done something. It's a bad job. You've overpriced it, then you win it.
Everyone else has gone really over the top. Yeah.
It used to be like a third, and a third, didn't it? That's what I got taught.
Yeah.
Go on.
What third?
Third labour,
Yep.
third materials,
Yeah.
and you can try and get a third of it profit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's
You
a
know.
bit a lot of people miss out, isn't it? The profit.
Profit
The
bit,
pricing,
yeah.
the
That was
time
my
of it.
accountant that years ago, third, and third.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just try and get as close as you can to that.
So go with yours then, Gordon. Explain what you were going to say there.
People forget the third profit.
Yeah,
The
so-
lowest price of materials and their labour
Yeah.
based on what they charge
Yeah.
themselves out at.
Yes,
correct.
And don't put in any profit to run the business, grow the business, employ people in the business.
Yeah.
Which is why you're always in this treadmill. Can't afford to employ anyone
Yeah.
because then you've lost. That's
Hand to mouth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't realise necessarily how a business works. A business has to pay the employee, but that happens to be the same person who's running the business. So you need paying for your time, you need paying for the materials, but the business itself needs to make a profit to build a business.
Yeah.
But they think their hourly rate, they might be charging themselves out at, I don't know, £45 an hour. I don't know what the rate is. But you don't have to, because obviously I've just thrown this one. Have you got an hourly rate number that you charge out the electricians in your team? You don't have to say it, by the way.
It's not far off that.
Yeah.
It's not far off that. Obviously, it all depends on your overhead, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to cover your overhead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not far off that.
Yeah.
But we do, you know, I think in our game, some of us are a bit scared to ask for, build profit in there. We think it's not the done thing.
Right, okay.
But we've got to do it. Everybody else is making money.
Yeah, but everybody else, you
have to make money.
You can buy a car.
Yeah.
How much has been built into that? You got the building you're in, all the staff there, and all the rest of it. No one batters an eye. You go and buy a car.
Yeah.
Free coffee and bacon sandwiches down the wholesaler.
Which day of the week is that, by the way? I think I heard Thursdays mentioned.
Thursdays and Fridays.
What do you get free on a Thursday and a Friday?
Free bacon and free sausage.
Abuse.
Yeah. And
Is that
plenty of abuse.
Plenty of abuse.
is that cooked on site, or you're ferrying them in?
We're ferrying them in now. We used to cook them on site, but we put customers off, so we decided to bring them in. There was too much dripping on some of the sandwiches, so we decided to buy them in.
Okay.
Hot in the kitchen.
So, but again, there's you don't get that online, do you?
You certainly don't.
Okay, so that's another nice little touch. And I think those things get people to come through the door,
They
don't
do,
they?
they
Yeah,
do.
yeah. And it's like anything, and it's that front of business. The first person you meet when you come through that door is really important to your business.
Yes, and if you've got a sausage sandwich, it's a win-win.
What's the beverages like now? Because I remember in my day it was an awful mixed soup or hot chocolate beverage in a brown plastic mug. Is it improved, Neil?
When it works, it's not too bad.
Or some decent coffee now?
Yeah, decent coffee.
Does it grind? I mean, be careful with my word in there. Does the coffee grind? I nearly said, do you grind there?
No,
So-
just the staff. They grind.
Okay.
You get a nice creamy chocolate, don't you?
Oh, you certainly do.
72.
I love it. 72.
70, he knows the numbers.
Oh, dear. And it's always on free vend. I love it.
Yeah.
Everyone loves to see free vend, don't they?
Love it.
Yeah, fantastic.
Simon doesn't.
Oh, no, I only get upset when I'm picking up half-drunk cups all around the warehouse.
Oh, staff take them in, is it?
That's because you've got a cup of dirty water that comes out and not proper brew. You know, but it's on. It's when it's running out of the good stuff.
We're not pouring. It's not a pint of beer, this, you know.
Well, you're not grinding anymore.
That's an idea.
Yeah,
Run a
Fridays,
competition on
yeah,
that. Which wholesaler does the best coffee?
Yeah,
There
that
you
would
go.
be a good one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be worth doing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. It could be a day where you don't sleep at night, though, isn't it? You've done 6 of them strong coffees, isn't it, in the day? Ooh, yeah. Right, you got anything coming through? Anyone like
Not
to
loads
talk
on
about
pricing. I mean, that's
Yeah, go on then.
it's
So
all
some
done
more-
by the hour. Do people job price by the hour? Price by the hour or by the job? That's always a
Yeah, I think that's where you are in your career, isn't it?
It's experience, or is it? You've got to have experience to know how many hours you think are going to be put on a job. Else you catch a cold.
Yeah.
You know, if you think you're actually faster and better than you are, you've got to build in like other trades as well. Can you get in that room? You know, and who you're working for. If you've got a builder who is really disorganised, and you're going to expect that disorganised, that chaos when you go in there, you know you're not going to get, you know, a clean sweep or on a project, and you've got to be hanging back. That's lost time. If you've built it in, I've only got that 40 hours to do that job, and you stood there waiting 2 or 3 hours a day because he screeded the floor or whatever, he ain't going to pay you any more brass. So you've got to kind of build that in. It's, you know, and if you don't, then you will catch a cold. You might be all right in your first one, but if you keep doing it all the time and pricing so tight, then you know you're in bother.
No, you catch a cold, don't
Busy
You do catch a cold.
Busy full. Yeah, not good. Yeah, and again, it goes down. Yeah, do you work on price or do you work on day rate? Innit? I think it is your career. The older you get, if you're still on the tools, there's no way really you want to be chasing price, is there?
No.
You want to know what you're going to get for a day's graft, and really.
Yeah, but your margins are set then, aren't you? It's like well, you're literally working on a fixed income. So if you want to be working for us. We want to be on a price, fixed price.
Well, if you're doing that, you might as well work for somebody else. If you're going to be in business and be a contractor in business, you need to make profit.
You need to make
If
profit.
you're going to make wages,
Price.
then work for somebody else because
Exactly.
it's not worth having the stress, the worry of
Yeah,
running
exactly.
a business
You
and
wanna-
getting the money in.
Yeah,
You know.
so we got asked last week, to do a job on an hourly rate, and we just said, well, it's not really worth it for us because you'll be stood there with a clipboard. Well, I thought that it took you quicker,
Right,
you'll be
yeah.
faster than that, and that took you longer, and this, that, and the other, and then it just gets a little bit messy at the end. They think they can do it faster than you, even though he's never seen a set of screwdrivers. So I'd sooner say it's going to be X. If we do it faster, you still pay me X, and off I go. Rather than if it takes me longer than I think, then it's me who's lost out. But at least I know what I'm going to be making. I've got a margin I'm making on every job.
And they know the price before you start.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Better for us. Takes all the ambiguity out of it. And hopefully, everybody's happy at the end of it, and we get paid when this, we said we're going to get paid, and everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
And do you use subbies?
We do use some contractors.
Are they easy to get hold of? I don't hear the word subby being mentioned much at the minute.
Not really. The thing is, it's like Simon alluded to it before. It's like the Thursday and the Friday mornings when you have the butty mornings in Express. That's where you will see, obviously, all your mates and all the other. It's a bit of a network. So you can see, listen, what you do in a couple of weeks. I've got a few days that I need here. The lads that that are worth the salt, that that you're going to get on jobs, rather than kind of going online and trying to get an advocate for subbies and you've never seen them before. You don't know what they're like behind a set of screwdrivers. You're going in blind. So that kind of interaction at counter level, it yields all sorts of benefits. Not just for the wholesaler, but for the contractor as well.
Yeah, so it's another hidden benefit of turning up at the wholesale counter, isn't it?
It is,
It's that networking thing.
So in answer to your question, I would only use subcontractors that I've used in the past.
Right, okay.
I wouldn't use a friend of a friend of a friend. I'd have to have seen them in action because
But it's your business, isn't it?
it's our reputation.
Yeah.
So it takes years to build your reputation up, and literally
Half a job to ruin
half a
it.
job to ruin it.
Yeah.
So
And you picked up an apprentice down at the wholesaler.
we did, yeah.
Tell us that story. I
didn't
love
hear
an
this one,
apprentice
Gary.
story.
Love this one.
Come on then.
Yeah, at Express. He
Was it Yes or Express? Because I know
It
you
was
go
at
to Yes or-
Express. It was
Oh,
at
was it?
Express.
You went
actually,
down
yeah.
there that week, did you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, he stuck an advert on the dodgy coffee machine.
Right, okay. Good for you.
My name's Such a Body. I'm looking for a job.
Good.
And it was well structured. And I'm in college. I'm doing my MBQ level 2. I'm full time, but I'm looking for a placement. I'm looking for an apprenticeship. And I thought, you know what? I'll contact the guy. And I contacted him, and he came back. First thing you check is, how he replies. So it was a really well structured email.
Wow.
It wasn't, I'm all right, pal, or yeah, I'm good. It was a well structured email. And then he actually contacted me by text, and again, that was all well structured. So I said, you know what, I'll contact the guy. So I contacted him just for a coffee catch up, nothing formal. And the kid was very nervous, but he'd been looking for a placement for over 12 months because he needed that experience. Because it's all right being in college, 5 days a week, but you need that hands-on experience. So we took him on. He came for us for 2 weeks.
As a trial?
As a trial,
Good.
yeah. We give him the rundown, I don't want to see your phone, you've got to be wanting to work. If you want to work, we're going to show you what to do. We'll help you, we'll give you as much information and help as you can take. But you just got to show that you want to be doing it. And touch wood, he's been spot on,
Brilliant.
He turns up on time, he wants to come to work, he wants to graft, he wants to learn, and he's never on his phone, which is a massive plus.
Yeah, it's good. And again,
And we didn't charge you for that service, for finding your
And
employees.
there you go, you see, that's
There's
another
another
benefit of the wholesaler.
and there you go, again, for the people that are maybe the electricians watching this and that, I like the fact that you gave him a trial. So these people looking for effectively work experience to start with then leads to a job. That's the best way, bit of a trial before buy. But if you can't even take an apprentice on and you can offer them work experience, think they're all nearly out of college now for another extended period of time before they go back late September now. It gets longer and longer. Yeah. Just think to yourself, can you offer somebody some work experience? Clearly define the rules of that it's not a job, it's not an apprenticeship. But that's immensely valuable to them, that they get some on-site experience. However, my flip side, and it'll be in some of these live streams I do, is I remember when I was an apprentice, you got put normally with an old person. They probably was 45. Now I'm thinking, wow.
Well, that was old then.
That was, when you,
it's young now.
God, it's aspirational, isn't it? 45. It is. Yeah, well, just
Cheeky
Careful. No, I've had some terrible time. But again, if you take someone on, you're going to have to give some of your time back. So it's all right saying you want them not to be on the phone, which you said, you want them to graft and all the rest of it. But at some point in someone's day, they're going to have to do something that isn't progressive for them. They're going to have to show them how to make a large armoured off or test a circuit or wiring conduit because they've only done it on a little plastic board at college. So there is a trade-off. And if you can offer work experience, it's massive to them.
But for the young lads out there, I mean, we've done it in a lot of branches. If anyone does, young lads want a job, it's amazing just putting it on the coffee machine. We don't just for job, but if the electricians need assistance. If the young lads just put it on the coffee machine going into any wholesale, even just put it on, then the young lads will get a response because people are looking for people who use their initiative.
Yeah,
and
proactive,
this young lad, he's put something there, and they think, you know what, we'll give him a try. So if there's any young lads out there who want to be apprentices, just go into a local wholesaler and just they won't mind. They'll put it up. There'll be no problem. And I guarantee that you will get a phone call. You will get a phone call.
And this is just an us thing, and that's girls and guys, isn't it, Simon?
Of course, it's girls, yeah.
So we've had some fantastic 30 under 30 winners.
Yeah.
We saw Princess Sparky this week send out, got a 30 under 30 award. But it's that. Yeah, trying to, and as the wholesaler, and if I was telling my students I used to do this, you go to electrical wholesale, where electricians hang out, you work out the times.
Just see the manager, there's no problem.
But again, if you've got the whole of the summer off, and obviously you want your name on the coffee machine, I love it. Well, how about saying, until I get somewhere, Simon, how about I'll spend some time in the wholesale
Counter,
speaking to electricians, passing it over. There you go. There's another one, isn't it? It's another opportunity.
I think as contractors, we need to kind of not look at potential apprentices as cheap, if not free labour, but as an investment. Put a bit of time into them.
Yeah,
every now and again, you will get good lads. You'll know the idiots within day one.
Yeah, day one.
Yeah. Well,
so it's not much time lost, is it?
I taught for 19 years, and at the end of the first week, I could tell you. I could tell you after one lesson, really, but after a week, I just give it a week, because always for something to surprise you. It's clearly visible who's going to get there and who isn't. There'll be unlucky stories along the way, and there'll be people that fluke it, but majority of the people in that first week, you can say this collection of people here deserve to get something, and I've only met them for a week, so you're the same. So that's good. That's good. Interesting. And thank you for that. And so
no problem.
And if in the meantime you can keep us posted on the progress of your apprentice, that would be
great. I will
great.
do.
Try and get them to sort of send us some pictures in or tag us in on some stuff.
I certainly will.
Love a good story.
Do any EV charges?
That's 9 now. We're up to.
Oh my God.
You don't know someone called Billy Lavender? Is that a name?
Oh, never heard of him.
He wants to see more of the Callum cam.
Oh right, okay. We're bringing the old teeth. There he is. There it is. Look at that.
Probably thought he'd got away with it. It was a bit back in the comments there, but I spotted it.
Look at Rick. Little Rick smile. Look at Rick smile. Love it. Oh, fantastic.
Where's Callum? Which one's Callum?
Turn the lights out. You'll still see him. It's a nice T-shirt that'll glow.
Oh, there he is. He's there.
His teeth are LED. They're cool white, those.
We've had a great day, haven't we? So it's been great fun. So what have we got on the questions? So we're blasting through anything here. Have we got anyone on, by the way? I always ask at this stage, has anyone stayed with us?
UK Export, can I have a job at eFIXX, please? Can I make brews and clean the magical red toilet? Of course you can. You're welcome any time.
That maroon toilet's awful.
Tomorrow morning is always a challenging situation.
I've got in early. I've had to come back and have a moment in there. What's really good though is, have you worked out that is a very, very, very old cistern, and it puts an absolute Olympic amount of water down the toilet. So that's what it used to be like as a kid. When you flush the toilet, it's gallons of it. Now you sort of flush it and it's stopped before you've even stood up, isn't it? It's like you're up and out.
It's like you're going to be sucked down.
But unfortunately, when it floods.
But when you're at College Connections next week, aren't you?
Yes, Monday I'm at Newark.
Yeah, so mine and Rick's mission is to finish the toilet control system.
Okay,
On Monday.
so we've got the emergency fan
Emergency
extraction,
fan extraction system kicking in.
which is a Thursday morning thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like I said, I've gone early, I'm in a world of trouble coming back.
So when you were teaching
Yep.
at the college, were you involved with wholesalers? Did you get involved with wholesalers to get involved with the apprentices?
I was quite...
Because wholesalers are a good
Yeah.
way of getting jobs for young lads.
Yep, so I was
But
quite...
did you tie up with anybody?
I was very proactive in the last 5 years at college about getting outside industry people to the college. And yes, we had some wholesalers in and things like that. But now knowing this story, I probably would have... I always encouraged my learners from starting that where are electricians? They're at wholesalers. So you need to go sit outside. I said, with a little cardboard sign, almost play on it. I don't need a job, I just need some work experience. Sit outside there with a thermos flask and a list of envelopes with all of them in. Somebody will not walk. So when you're there a week and you only got to do the morning, I used to say, by 11 o'clock there won't be anyone. So you've got to do like 7:30 till 11. Somebody's going to walk past you the first day and think, oh, well, that's it now, it's quite novel. And they're going to walk past you. And then when they get a third day, they'll say, oh, I'll give you a chance. You've been here 3 days, mate.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're in.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you then. And they used to, and I used to go, and I'll do it in the colleges. Oh, I don't want to. And I said, if you're saying every time, because I used to give them
You were
loads
very
of...
good at that. It's a bit concerning.
Well, I've got to tell them. But I used to say loads of different things that they can do. And I said, after every one, if your brain's going, yes, but I don't want to, what you're really saying is you don't want to be an electrician.
Correct.
Yeah. And I do that when I go into the colleges with the full-time learners. I go through all the things they can do. So we've got CPDs that we do. And I say to the learners, I'm going to talk about some of the other things, is that if you came to get the job with you, Neil, you've got a job up and there's 3 candidates in front of you, they'll go, I've got a level 2, level 2, level 2. Well, how do you stand out? Well, I've got a level 2. And I say to them, I said, you can stand out if you're lucky, charismatic, and then I always pick one that's got a resting face of a person that might have done damage to somebody. Get that one. And I say, well, look at you. You're sitting there now. You look terrible. And then they start smiling. I said, well, that's better. Yeah. I said, so you're hoping that lucky and charismatic don't get the job, or you do. And I said, what else can you do? And then somebody put down and go, work experience. I said, do you do work experience? Yeah, I've got 40 hours. Brilliant. I've got 120. I said, oh, sorry. Got 120 now. So I'm here. And so you've got 120 hours and a level 2. I said, what have you two got? I've got nothing. I said, well, you're lucky and charismatic. You ain't getting a job. What have you got? And then we talk about CPDs, additional certification. And it's that, isn't it? So that person surprised you by being on that coffee machine. You give them a break, and then they've followed through. Absolutely followed through for you.
But can we not just send them to Turkey and get the teeth done?
We can. Sometimes some people are born into privilege, aren't they? Yeah, very lucky. Yeah. What did your dad do for a living? Did he own a wholesaler?
Exactly.
Was you the Callum back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Got to be careful.
I couldn't afford the teeth.
Third generation wholesaler, yeah? Or fourth?
He's third.
Third, yeah. Okay. That's good. You in safe hands, do you think?
Well,
he's your pension, that's
I
all.
was very surprised with him today. Yeah, he did very well. Yeah, very impressed.
So. Not giving the times away on the board at all.
No, were you impressed when he launched the entire drinking beverages in the Indian onto the floor? Were you impressed?
Well, that was the Callum that I know.
Impressed but not surprised.
Yes, and he made a sharp exit.
Go on. Anything else that people are on there with? Interesting. So thank you. We'll chase that story up with your student.
Yeah.
Loads on that. Eddie's on. Oh, Eddie's on. Eddie Pegasus Electrical.
He's won a lot of money recently, and he's got him up trumps on crypto, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's what it said on his Instagram account. A few others have followed Eddie's advice and got into crypto and had their accounts.
Do you remember
that,
that young lad who was training at a college? He used to put loads of photographs on, really tried. Had like a massive long name.
Yeah.
He's done the crypto as well.
Yeah.
It's come up good as well.
And now he has a new Instagram account. Interesting, I have found the templates.
Oh, I've got one in the van.
Oh, you've got one. Yeah. Sit down now. You're right. You've got one. You took one. So,
Eddie, hopefully I'm going to try and see you on Friday if it matches in with my plans for my daughter on Friday. Yeah. I've got one with some stickers on it in the van for you, and I've got stickers for you, and you're going to have a safe isolation kit. Yeah. So let's bring the hand cam in.
Special rare.
How many of these have we got? Huh? You got 10 of these.
I've got 10. I've promised one in the northeast. So these are copies of Eddie's drill template for Legrand Salamander Trunken. Okay. So there you go. It's the kind of thing we do on a Friday afternoon. You're eating bacon sandwiches on Thursday, Friday.
I'll tell you what, this is one exciting show. It really is. This is one exciting show. Get me boots in next week. I can hardly wait.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Bushes next week.
So I've got one on board. So if,
Yeah.
if I manage to catch up with you, Eddie, I'll drop that one in. If you can just give me a few cryptocurrency tips. And he's in property now, so I've got a lot,
Yeah,
of property in
Yeah.
there now. So he's doing well, bless him.
You should make them. We'll sell you. You can have them on the counter next to the bacon sandwiches.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Can't buy them off Legrand.
They weren't that cheap either, to make, really. We dropped a ton, didn't we, or more?
Yeah. We can always make more. So.
Yeah, so that's all good. Yeah, so I've got you one, Eddie. So hopefully we'll tie. I've still got the address, but you'll need to ring me after 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow on my drive home, and give me some more details if you're in Bedford. So it's good.
We've got Cablesmith Electrical on. So just people joining now. Jeez,
Oh wow! Well, thank you. How's the football going? How are Rangers doing?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good. So yeah. Anything else, Gordon? Now no one's talking, so we've got to talk.
You keep talking. I'm
I'll keep talking.
through. I'm reading the comments. You keep talking. Oh, well, there we go.
2 million on the TikTok video, yeah. Well, June, we've been doing MI this week, so I've been playing around with 19 core, 1.5, heavy gauge, mineral insulated copper clad cable, and I'd like to say for the record, that is quite challenging to make off. However, during that, we made ourselves a key stripper, didn't we? Back like the corned beef one back in your day when you had a tin of spam for your Sunday tea.
Yeah.
Okay, we had made a corned beef tin opener, and that video went out on YouTube today. That one's doing really well, but we put the predecessor to that, where I was actually using it, on TikTok, and it's done 2 million views in just over a day. So that was pretty cool. So if you're not following us on TikTok, believe it or not, the eFIXX team are on TikTok. We're about 160,000 followers on there, and God, well, loads of views, loads of views. Yeah. It's good. We have some, and a little trick there is if you do follow us on TikTok, you get all the early access to our vertical format stuff. It goes there first. Yeah. We've never said that before. We put it there before we put it anywhere else.
Yeah. I think the coffee machines across wholesale are going to be littered tomorrow.
Yeah, good.
I know.
Yeah,
that's absolutely.
Good. You've said it to people all the time, Garrett, to do it. So
yeah, and I like the fact that because you've put it there, and obviously you've said you must have aided them in their decision. But every electrician walks to the coffee machine.
Exactly.
You only need one. That's what I said. Back in my day when I first started teaching, it was emails. Emails were things. So people send emails. And one, not now, when I say that.
Yeah, but
now,
nobody reads them.
No, wait, no, this lad.
Sorry.
No, sorry, before emails. I apologise, it's letters. So I apologise, it's letters. I can't remember the guy's name. He sent out 200 letters with self-addressed envelopes out and got a job. Right. I don't know how much it cost him in stamps and time and effort, but he got him a job. And that's great, that worked for him. And then we went to emails, and you're right, emails don't work. And learners would say to me, they'd come back and say, well, I've sent 40 emails and no one gets back to me. I said, well, you've worked one thing out, they don't work. Yeah. So move on. So great, you did that, didn't work for you. You might have got lucky, move on to something else. I used to say, turn up. Same information you got on an email, dress yourself smartly, turn up and speak nice to the person on the desk. So you walk in, you ask for work experience, not a job. Don't go in all chipper, wanting a job. You want some free work experience. Yeah. I'll do this. And then you've got the question. Sometimes they'll say, well, yeah, you're too young to go out on site. That's not a problem. I'd love to work in the office just to lay out. I'll clean all your vans. I just want to work within the electrical industry. Let me have a chance. I said, again, you might have to do 10, 15, 20, 30 times. I said, but you'll work out every time when you go in how to get better at it next time. You might get lucky, might be the second one, might be the one. But they're going in their own mind. But I don't want to. And then when they say, well, I don't want to, and I do that, they don't want to be an electrician. And I said, that's fine as well. So all the things I offer up to people as options of things that they can do. Every time your brain says, but I don't want to. Like we say about the CPDs, it takes less than an hour to get a certificate. It takes you all year to get one. I say you can get one in an hour, and you're going in your own mind, but I can't be bothered. That's fine. We met a lad, should you mention the lad we met at Leeds?
No.
Do you want to mention it?
You can do.
Yeah.
Go on, fire away.
So, went to Leeds College. I've been there twice to Leeds College, and really nice group. It's Jake Hardcastle's group, nice group. Jake's recontacted me recently, wants to come back and do some more stuff with us, so that'd be nice. And I see him, and then I was at the trade show in Harrogate, and this kid comes over to me, smiling, beaming. Hello, Gaz, how are you? And I'm terrible with names, great with faces, but I've had a moment where I'm bad with both. He sat next to me, showed me all the stuff in his bag. I was like, yeah, brilliant, yeah, oh, that's great. Took a selfie with him. I said, and I'm thinking to me, I must have taught him. Well, I hadn't taught for 3 years, so I thought I must have taught him. Why is he this far north? So I went, what are you doing this far north? He said, oh, I live in Leeds. I was like, yeah, of course, brilliant, yeah. And he points over to some bloke, and I was like, oh, right, he must be an electrician. Oh, that's brilliant. So he's gone away, and then my brain slowly caught up with me with my age. I thought, I recognised him obviously from Leeds College. I went round the corner about an hour later, saw him again. He's there with his dad, not an electrician. So why you come with your dad? He said, well, you can't get in here unless you're with an electrical contractor. So my dad's created an electrical contracting firm, so that I'm here with him today. I said, right, brilliant. And I said to his dad, I had a chat with his dad. He said, I spoke to loads of electricians, bought him loads of stuff. I said, great. He said, you told him you need to be where electricians are. So we've come. He's done the wholesale of things here today. I said, brilliant. And I turned to him and I said, how many CP, and I didn't even get today, have you done? Yeah, 11. I've got 11 additional certificates now. I've got my level 2, 11 additional certificates. I spoke to loads of electricians. I bought this bag of stuff. It's what I want to do, guys. And all my arm hairs went up and all the rest. And I turned to his dad and said, if you don't get a job at the end of level 2, do your level 3. If you don't get a job at the end of level 3, don't give up. I said, the only time you don't get a job is when you give up.
Yeah.
You've got to work until you're 67. You're 17 now. It doesn't matter if it takes you to 22 to get a job. No. If that's really what you want to do. But wow. Yeah. That was on the college connections. I was like, yeah, he deserves a job, doesn't he? Deserves a chance.
And he will get a chance.
Yeah, he will.
They will get a chance.
Yeah, they always do.
We're a soft touch. Electricians, I think we're a kind of soft touch. We're very accommodated. You know, we want to give a lot of people, well, lads that want it, a good chance.
Yeah.
You know, because we've all been there.
Yeah.
You know.
It's good. And again, I see a lot, again, at colleges, you look at the audience and, you know, like I said, I did it for 19 years, the eyes go, well, I don't want to. That's fine. I'm not interested. Yes, that's horrible. I'm not interested. I want the people who go, well, that's a good idea. I'll give it a go. It might not work for me, but I'll give it a go. So, no, fair play to the kid. Yeah, really good. Great story for me forever. I've got loads of good stories, but that's what. Yeah. What's coming in on the...
Oh, we're getting there, Gary. We're still up to 2 hours, Gary. Oh,
are we?
Well, an hour 50.
Okay. Would you like to wrap it up? Is that what you're saying?
I think we're getting there.
Okay.
We've still got 131 people on, so you could be here until midnight. But,
so again, we'll carry on. Just because we've said wrap up, don't use those as exiting words. That's a YouTube thing, and when you say exiting words. Yeah, thank you. And again, we've had Express Electrical with us today. Yourself and your son have been absolutely quality
Billy
guests.
Lavender just wants another quick look at the Callum Cam.
Callum Cam, is he his mate? Is it one of his mates? There he is, slouched in the it's Rick's teeth. Look at that, bad boys. Awesome. So we've had Express Electrical with us today, and that's been fantastic. I must admit, this has been one of the funniest days I've ever had in the whole time I've been at Lionside Studios. I don't think I've laughed so much in my whole time. Simon has got the wickedest sense of humour and the driest wit I've ever had. Neil's been an absolute pleasure. We've had a ramble on about electrical stuff, which has been great. You didn't enjoy that bit, but I did. Of course. Yeah, your son got up and walked out. That's how bad that was, which got a little bit technical. And obviously we've had the joys of Callum launching the majority of the tableware from our Indian restaurant onto the floor, which was also good fun. He's been great sport as well, but we've got 3 amazing challenges, and Gordon suggested that's going to be a triple header in one evening.
Put a big prize behind that. That'll be fun.
That'll be an absolute special.
We've also Billy Lavender tuning in. Yeah.
We've also had the Pocket Max.
Express will donate a prize for that.
You've been too kind again today.
We've got to give a nice prize for that.
We've also looked at the Wiha Pocket Max, and you can get these with the link in the description.
Yeah,
you can pre-order them.
Pinned a comment in the chat as well.
Brilliant.
And if you pre-order, you get a free bottle of.
And has it gone up since I said it last? Is it now 46 quid, or is it still 29.99?
It's just sneaked up to 29.
Inflation's running out, so again, that's a pre-order. There's only 3 of these in the country, and you reckon you've ordered 1,000, is that correct?
We have.
So again, I know it's a pre-order, but again, it might be something nice that slips in the post when you weren't expecting it to arrive, and that link is in the description as well, and we like it. We'll do a review on that one in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When we can get hold of one.
When we can get hold of one.
Perhaps we'll have to order one from Express.
We'll pre-order ours.
Yeah.
And then take them back. Without the bottle open and get the full price.
Take the bottle open back and ask for, if you get something on the counter, I had this Pocket Max. It's not very good. So drop it back in. So it's all good. So, and we'd like to thank Neil as well for his expertise and some of those great insights into, first of all, finding an apprentice, and also some of those tips about quoting for jobs and obviously running your business as well. It's been fantastic. It's one of the best ones we've had. I've enjoyed that tonight. Gordon, yourself?
Yeah, it has. It's been absolutely fantastic. And don't forget, we've got our podcast, Electrical News Weekly, which will be back out on Monday. You can tune in for that and see obviously what's coming up on the channel and find out some of the other news that's happening in the electrical industry.
And where can we find that podcast?
It's on all major podcasting platforms, and we also do put it out on YouTube as well, and it's on the website.
Wow, so it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's okay. And of course, that's from the great Joe Robinson, so you know that's going to be full of banter and humour. And I think every time so far I've watched it, he's been given a very difficult word to squeeze in from Ray Maloney, hasn't he?
Yeah, we'll put that in the script, so he has a difficult word to pronounce just because we can.
And he's all over it. Okay. So if you've got to the very end, I really do thank you for joining us here in the Plug and Socket on the end of our live stream. We thank our guests as well as we've got the old Callum Cam. One more look at the Callum Cam. He's just about awake still over there. So yeah, we need to caught him with his hand in his trousers as well. That would have been a young man moment, wasn't it? Rearranging himself.
That was a nice touch.
Talking a hand in the trousers. That reminds us of JB, where we saw most of the things that are in his trousers when he did his race hall, and we thank him for his time. And you'll see JB on the live streams that we're going to do for apprentices, starting on the 27th of June at 12:30, when I'll be joined by the wonderful Marcus, who's going to join me from my fellow, from my days of teaching at Tresham College. He's going to come all the way up to Skipton to join me on the apprentice live stream. So bear with us on that as we try and set a format for that, similar to one that maybe we've got here on our live stream. So have a nice evening. And so Rangers win the cup in Europe, whichever one it is. I don't know, I keep changing the title of these things, but so play win this evening as well. Thank you very much for joining us.